So the
Hello.
crow says to the pig, "Oh,
Yeah. Why did you stick that there?
What?
Never mind.
What?
Welcome to Reaper Miniatures. Welcome to Reaper Errant, our bi-weekly D&D 5th edition stream with a wonderful cast of artists and Justin.
Ouch!
Oh, he's artistic. He's creative. He's creative.
Wow.
Fair.
Ain't no
Hey,
attention
to
to
be
the
fair,
lights.
comparatively, they're in like high school. I'm in kindergarten, so I mean, I get it.
Boy, I don't know if that was a slam or not.
Take it however you want, Weeby.
I think it was a slam. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons tonight. I don't know if you've been following along, but we have a little story going on that we're going to do little sequential bits of. And tonight, I guess I'll introduce the story first before I let everybody introduce themselves a little bit. The players have decided after a stop at a farm and then a subsequent stop at a orphanage that there is some trouble in the swamp, in the Wofield swamp. And Abron has got the taste of blood for this witch that's out there and wants to go and destroy her. And I think most
And the
people are backing that
townspeople,
up.
too.
But the townspeople don't like her either.
Yeah.
So they are
I-
venturing into Wofield swamp.
Yeah, the townspeople don't like the witch, so let's go kill the witch.
Right.
Burn her.
She's causing some
Burn the-
problems.
Turn the witch.
And you don't like the townspeople.
Burn the witch.
Well, to
I
be
like them somewhat.
if you're just
Yeah, we don't
tuning
like
in,
any of that dark magic crap, so let's go get her.
it's been dark. If you need any kind of justification for this witch being evil, she gave a child a magical implement that ended up turning an entire orphanage of children into giant rats, which has not been lifted yet. And the only way to do that, they believe, is to go and
Kill the rats.
interface with this
Burn the
witch.
Burn the witch.
But I'll let everybody introduce themselves and the character they're playing. And we'll start up with Bobby.
Bobby Jackson. I'm playing Pugh, the indomitable gnome bard, armed with his war shawm.
Awesome.
Which is
It's a shawm for war.
okay.
Of course. What else would it be? Gene.
What else would it be?
Hi, I'm Gene Van Horn, and I'm playing Gooseneck, the lizard folk barbarian. And I can't wait to take somebody's bones and turn them into a weapon.
Oh, that's right. That is a lizard folk ability, along with their
That's right.
disturbing bite ability.
Disturbing bite. Ooh, I look forward to
Well,
that.
Yeah, we'll see that maybe someday. Jason.
Oh, hi, I'm Jason Weeby, and I'm playing Corncob Thunderbludgeon, who is a dwarven cleric, but he's a nature cleric, so there's a lot of stuff out in the woods. Hi, Abron.
Yes.
Which leads us
Yes.
to Mike.
Yes, my name is Michael Proctor. I'll be playing the kindly, gentle-hearted Abran, the elf ranger.
I don't think I've met him.
No,
Oh, never mind. I play the
we
anger
weren't
management
supposed to switch
candidate,
yet.
There you
Abran.
go.
Yeah, okay.
And then again, I must apologize for not having information yet for Rhonda, but it means her audio is even more important here. Rhonda?
I am Rhonda Bender. I'm playing Fathom, a tiefling warlock who's going to be standing behind a lizard man a lot, trying not to get hit.
You can stand next
Justin.
to me.
Oh, our disembodied voice.
And behind
or-
all of you.
Yes, only slightly embodied. I'm Reaper Justin, of course. I have to represent, and I'm playing Ivan, the quixotic, bloodthirsty, completely lacking of social skills wizard.
Slayer
Ivan the
of doors.
bloodthirsty wizard.
I like this
Slayer
lizard.
of doors.
Yes.
Slayer of doors.
Slayer.
I have
Slayer
Ivan,
of
Slayer of
doors.
doors.
Yeah, and I am Frank. I am from Nightheart Gaming, and I'm going to, in advance, thank Sirenscape for the background and ambient music that we'll be hearing this evening from time to time, and our technical director, Anne, or Sidley, if you see her in chat, that will be both operating cameras and doing technical direction on some of this tonight. So doing some camera switching. So I guess we're ready to start some D&D. Ooh. Oh, one last thing, just in case. It's not super important, but I'm always hoping to catch the eye of Michael of Reaper Collins. So I made a Reaper Collins drink. I'm drinking it for you, just for you, Reaper Collins.
What's in
Why
there?
do you
Cheers
want
to
to why do
Michael.
you even why?
I
Yeah,
don't
why do
know.
you care about Collins?
Well, I don't. We had a good interview up at ReaperCon last year with Michael and Justin, and
Okay.
we also talked with Ed. But we also I don't know. He's supportive. He seems cool.
Enough about
Okay.
that. What's in the drink?
What's in the drink? It's equal
Oh.
parts. It's it's equal parts
Oh boy.
gin, 151 rum, and Midori liquor. And then you just top it off after you put that in a Collins glass with club soda, and you add a cherry. It's tasty if you like gin. To be fair, not everybody likes gin. All right.
I like
Gin will
gin.
make you sin.
So, yeah. Now I don't want to put words in your mouth, but or adventure paths in your mouth, but I did. My understanding was you were heading off into the swamp to hunt down this witch. But did you want to do anything or prepare in Fairfield before you entered the swamp, or get any supplies? I just want to make sure you're well equipped to.
We're fully
I
rested,
reload
right?
all my arrows. I buy arrows if I'm low on them. I didn't keep track of them, but
Okay.
if I am, I'm loaded up.
I'd like to buy some armor if possible.
Armor. Okay. That is possible. You're not efficient, so you're not proficient with armor. It will make some things not good for you if you put it on. You can still cast and you can still do things.
Wizards and armor don't mix.
No.
Wait,
Yeah.
so you're saying I can't put
Then
full
what you
plate on?
thinking?
No, you can put full plate on.
You can put it on there. Go ahead. Why not?
Well, actually, it
It
depends on
might
your
increase
strength.
your casting ability the way
Yeah.
it's been going so far.
It can only improve, right?
Your strength needs to be 15 for full plate. As long as you've got that, you can buy it. And you need 1,500 gold.
I'll see your 15 and give you 8.
Well, you're stuck wearing rags. something light, something light and
Oh my
airy, like a
God.
loincloth.
You know,
Ah,
if we find a critter big enough, I can make some leather armor for you, Justin.
Ooh, I'm down for that. Can I wear leather armor?
You're not proficient with leather armor either.
Oh boy.
No.
So what happens in
we can
not to
we
break the
can
fourth
weave
wall
some
here.
for you out of twigs and rattan, maybe. How about that? A little leftover carpet padding.
What can I do within my financial ability to increase my AC from a 10 to anything else?
Learn the mage armor spell.
Yep.
Oh, see, I'm bloodthirsty. That seems a little more defensive than I'm used to.
Well, then sit back, glass cannon, and let it rip.
What do you want? Man.
Okay. All right. Then I'm ready to go.
Hide behind anybody. Really.
Just hide behind me.
I'll hide behind Rhonda. She looks like she's safe.
Oh, great. We got
My,
the
my armor class is not much
two
better than
mages
yours,
juggling for last position.
but we don't want to go very last because something could sneak us. So
That's right. We
that's
call it
something
rear
else.
guard anyway, right? To avoid any embarrassment.
Yeah.
Speaking of, so you are starting in the town of Fairfield, which you can see on the map here. And you are traveling, your goal is to travel into the swamp area. And you did find this map in a chest in the orphanage. Now you can start from Fairfield by going back down, but it doesn't sound like you need to. And I do want to know where you want to start. You can either start from Fairfield down there, or you can start from this farm area over here. Which way are you going in to the?
Do we know where
Warfield
the
Swamp?
witch's hovel is?
You basically know the
chicken.
the direction, but so let me actually give us a. I'm sorry. Could you? No, we're doing maps.
Do we have an idea about whether or not we can avoid trudging through the swamp more or less from a certain angle?
So no. You
Is it worth
don't-
going back to town to ask questions like that?
That would be the question. That is at. That's the
To
important
my
question.
fellow party. I don't.
You either go right across from the farm, which is sort of on the right side in the middle of the map there, and you just go straight to the left, or you go back down to Fairfield, ask some questions, and then go up diagonally from the bottom.
Do we know if the farm has any tasty chickens?
Well, you
Is
yeah. When you started there, that was the halfling who had lost her.
Oh, it's
yeah.
the same halfling.
Oh, I thought we were at the
Yeah.
orphanage.
Oh, you're right. You are at the orphanage,
So-
which, no, you're totally right. My apologies. You're down there in that, you're off from Fairfield, Maine, just right there in that large manor looking area. So it might be best if you go.
It may be worth going back up to the farm and seeing if we can contact our dryad friend to get some hints.
You actually did contact her at
thought
the
we
end
did
of last
contact her.
session, yeah.
Yeah.
But would she be able to give us more information as to the location of the witch or what we need to look out for in confronting the witch? Any other hazards that might be in the swamp that we in between us
I
and the
think we-
witch?
I think we asked her something like that before, like if she could give us any
I don't remember
clues.
that.
She was
Well, that's because we
most-
didn't get shit from her.
Yeah.
She
she's
was a
not-
little vague.
Yeah, she's vague.
Okay.
Why don't we?
But is it
why don't
worth
we
going
go around
to the
this
village?
Fairfield, talk to somebody in the pub, maybe.
Yeah, maybe there's hunters
Talk
or
to the
mushroom
local-
pickers or
Yeah,
you go.
just a thought.
Yeah, let's go find some mushroom.
Somebody
pickers.
lead us.
Yeah.
All right, I'll lead. Where are we going?
Hold on, Michael has a point or a question.
What's the shortest way to start killing things?
If you leave from the orphanage and go right in through the forest to the swamp, that's the shortest way.
All right.
I second
That's
that.
my
We should
vote.
do that.
Maybe you could
That's my
fly
vote.
over. Can you fly over and kind of reconnoiter? Don't you have wings on those abs?
No, I don't. I
Well,
I
the
didn't bring them.
abs.
I didn't bring them this time. I didn't
Please
pack them.
sculpt that.
They were
Please
they were in my
sculpt
other
an elf
bag.
with
Yeah.
wings
Yeah.
on his abs.
Oh, that was
I don't
beautiful.
sculpt elves. Ask Bobby.
So it's. Are you gonna follow? Are you gonna follow Abram? Just all right. Let's get this done right into the forest. Or are you gonna?
I'll follow Abram.
All right.
Stand next to Abram, whatever.
I mean,
Also, I would like
I'm
You
not
guys
sure
don't
what
wanna
the
go
rest of
back
the
to
party has
town
to
and-
say.
Just check for
I'm not-
sinkholes or something before we go in. the
Okay,
swamp.
well, if you want to do that, then say it, because otherwise we got to go kill stuff. If you
I'm
want to
gonna
go
go-
Well, I
back to
think
town, let's
Bobby
go
and I
back
were
to
voting
town.
to go back to town, but
All right.
I'll go where the majority goes.
Let's split the party. You guys go back to town, and Abram will go a couple miles ahead of me. Then I'll wait and then go in the forest after.
To recover his corpse.
Yep.
That's a plan.
All right. If you think we should go to town,
he
let's
had a
go to
good
town.
idea. I think the lizard man, Gooseneck, had a good idea. Let's go back to town and gather rumors and intel of the. Would you quit rolling your eyes for Pete's sake? Somebody strangle the elf. Oh my God.
Hey, which
If I
one?
recall,
You can't reach
I don't
that high,
strangle
right?
elves,
Peugeot just
Bobby,
can't
you
get there.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
punch him right
Back in
the
the town
crotch.
you go. Okay. So everybody turns around and heads back in the town. Abram, unless you're going all by your lonesome,
No,
Which
I'm
even you
sticking
realize
with
is not
the
safe.
party.
right? You
No,
follow
no.
the rest of them back.
Just
into
use
town,
this
ask some
time to
questions.
sharpen your sword
Doesn't take
and your
long.
arrows.
Yeah, it's right there. It's take but a minute.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, we're good.
It's
We're
like
good.
20 minutes of walking or something like that, or riding.
Oh God, 20 minutes.
Yeah, you're gonna lose at least an hour, but no big deal.
We got a mage in full plate. How can we walk that fast?
Oh,
You get back
I heard
in.
if we sell him, we can get 1,500 gold if we sell him in his place.
and actually, what I did
Yeah.
was I shared half the plate with Proctor. He and I are both wearing a full set of plate armor, but he's wearing the bottom half and I'm wearing the top half.
Right. We don't want to cover
Ew.
up those abs.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Okay. I would
Now
like
you're
to see.
sharing
I would like to
clothes.
see
That might
Aberrant
be a
in
little too
just
close.
pauldrons and the lower half. I
Cod
forget what those are called. Yeah, sure. that too.
Pauldrons and codpiece. There you
Cod
go.
piece, it's important.
Yeah, pretty much it.
All
There he
right,
is.
let's go.
In town, you have already made some contacts because you have the mayor that was well, not really a mayor, but the local official who had asked you to go out to the orphanage in the first place. You know where that is. You know where the pub is. The central area of the market. Any of those strike you as where you want to go?
I'd
Let's
say
go
Split
let's
up
back
go
and
to
we'll
the
ask
central
all
area of
three
the market.
places.
I'd like to go to the leather worker. I need a couple of pieces of cured leather.
We came to get intel.
Intel.
Well, I know,
Okay.
but
We're gonna sit here and
I
you're gonna
realize-
make armor while we're here.
no, I'm not making it. I just need a couple of pieces of cured leather.
Oh, just stray. Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just pocket sized.
Okay.
For the
You know,
weekend?
if we kill enough
What?
of these children rats, I can make a set of armor out of them too.
Hey.
I'm just
All right.
saying.
Well, while the party mills around directionlessly, I'm
Look,
going to go back to
let's
the
just
guy who
Go
gave
to the
us.
pub.
You're gonna go
Yeah,
back.
I
This
want
is
to go to
Bear
the
that's
guy
been
who gave
running
us.
around.
Okay, Pugil.
Yes, I want to go back and talk to that guy. Give him an update on the quest and let him know that we're seriously engaging the problem. And the next obstacle to dadgummit. The next obstacle to be overcome apparently is a witch. And does he know anything about the witch? And can he give us any
Swamp.
assistance?
Does he know anything about the swamp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So
predators
And are
between
witches
us and the
flammable? Do we know if witches are flammable?
he says,
That's
"Whoa,
survival roll.
everything's flammable." He says, "Oh, yes. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you've solved it for me. The town is very appreciative. The witches. I mean, that's quite a task. Are you up to this?"
we've got Abran.
Oh, okay.
Look at us. What do you think? Of course, we're up to it.
I know we steer clear of the swamps. There are many normal natural dangers and some unnatural ones as well.
Like
But
Red Cap.
you know, Will, he should be at the schoolhouse. He knows the swamp pretty well. He went out there just a few seasons ago. Lucky to come back with his life. So if you want to talk to anyone who
Why?
knows
What happened
firsthand,
to him?
well,
Let's go.
Let's
ask
go
him.
find out. Let's go talk to him.
Well,
Yeah.
I want to know
Talk
from
to
this
Will.
guy before we ask Will. What if Will can't talk about it? Let's ask this guy. What happened to Will? Give us a
Well,
warning. Is he disfigured now?
he went out with a group of friends and was lucky to make it back with his life. He was the only one to come back.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh!
wow. The sole survivor.
So which
That's my
one of
plan,
us is going to
be
be
the
the
sole
sole
survivor.
survivor?
Yeah. I nominate me.
Probably.
Yeah.
Let's go down to the school. Follow me, you clowns.
Okay. Down
We
to the
head
school
down
you
to the
go.
school. And
Let's go talk to old One-Eyed Willie.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So the bell, it's it's sort of early mid morning, and I'm trying to get the times right. Sounds about right. And you see someone sitting out there, he's overlooking kids in a play yard. some older ones and some younger ones. It looks like mixed grades as you walk up. He acknowledges you as you come up, says, yeah, how can I help you?
You wouldn't happen to be Will, would you? Does he have like PTSD shakes?
He doesn't seem to have shakes. He does have
Twitch.
just in that short exchange, you know that something's off maybe about the way he speaks, but doesn't seem to necessarily be incredibly bad.
We
Says,
were hoping to
I am
speak
Will.
to you about the swamp. Willie.
Oh,
You go by
whoa.
Will or Willie? 'Cause I've heard it both ways.
Will.
Will.
And the swamp is a terrible place. You heading out there?
Well, we
it
have a
kind of
dilemma.
hinges on what you have to say about it, honestly.
Yeah.
We've heard you had a terrible experience there.
We may allow you to dissuade us.
I had a terrible experience. Went out hunting with some friends. Was bad. Lost them all. If you're going out, I got to ask, why are you going out there?
We've heard of a malevolent witch who does terrible things to children out there.
Well, that's true, and I have heard that they're growing into the town. Heard something horrible happened at the orphanage, but I don't know what exactly.
Well, it appears that the witch may have turned these children into rats. And so, in order to turn them back, we're going to have to go seek a counter charm. And it seems logical that the source would be the witch who did it.
Yeah, that's good
So
logic.
it sounds to me like your recommendation might be to write the children off
No, not at
rather
all.
than venture.
I
Okay.
wouldn't
Good.
ever do that. Didn't know that was
How
the
did-
situation.
How did your hunting partners perish, Will?
Well, when we were walking down the path, it started to get dark. We saw maybe a campfire in the distance, and Billy ran off after it, right into a crocodile, alligator. Sorry.
Oh, that's even worse.
I ran off.
Those rounded snouts, they always get me.
We tried to save him, but pulled him right under the swamp water. We ran back the other way, and we lost our way off the trail. Found the old town there, though. There was one safe spot, one temple, and I held up there. But I gotta
The old
say,
town is ruins?
it's mostly ruins now. This temple was in pretty good shape, I'd say. But I had to wait.
Do you
There
know
was-
approximately where that is?
It's
If
about
we
a
showed you a
day.
map, could you mark the old town?
I could do that for sure.
We can show them the map, I suppose.
Okay. So he does mark the old town. And
In blood?
Let me hit this map here. He marks it. If you see those buildings off to the right there in that map, that is basically where the old town is. And he says that is a day away from Fairfield of hard travel. He says if you're heading to where, well, I don't know rightly, but the witch is probably even further than that. You'll need a place to stay. I couldn't think of any place safer than the temple in that town. That saved me until those lights were distracted.
What were the lights?
Well, you see, after we got, most of us encountered the alligator, we ran the other way. and there were more of them lights. And it's almost as though they were moving of their own accord. So when I held up in that temple, I was alone by that point. I'd rather not talk about what happened.
So it was the lights that attacked your party?
Well, no, but we
Were the lights floating up in the air, or were they like torches being held by somebody?
well, first we saw these torches, and then the second time we saw them, well, it was different. They were blue lights. Then but that ended poorly. Got sucked down into a swamp. I barely made it out of that. Some sand that sucked us under. And I hid off in the temple. It seems like I was safe there, mostly, for a couple days. I saw my opportunity and I left. I ran as quick as I could back into town. I made it out.
Now, if you were going to go back to the temple, which would you think would be the safest route to go from the town, or go up and cut directly west from the northern farms?
I think I'd go from the farms. That would get me there with the least amount of encounters in the swamp.
Okay.
We had to go through some deep areas, and that's where the gators were.
So there's deep water through here?
It can be, but there was a trail that was up high. You don't want to get off it, though.
Okay.
Can you mark the trail on our map?
Yes. And he marks it on the map. I'm going to go right here and down here. And so he marks that dotted line. You can see it in there as the trail. If you can see it in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So-
we can see.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he marks that as the trail that he followed. But he agrees that going through those deep water areas would be more dangerous than if you just started off at the farm over here and made due west.
Now,
Most-
does he know on our map what these buildings right north of the Wofield text are?
He's not really sure. He tells you that Wofield had it wasn't always Wofield, of course. It was Brandon's jeez Louise. Hold on. Now I gotta check notes on this. Sorry. Brandon's Crossing. And originally, at least. And it was pretty large. There was historically some disasters that happened in the area, one after one, that drove the town out. So there were some outskirts to that town. Part of the outskirts of it, on the edge, is actually where the new Wofield was. It was more like a farming area as opposed to originally. Originally, Brandon's Crossing. So you're getting all this information from him. Originally, Brandon's Crossing was a fairly normal town, but got into I don't know. The swamp seemed to encroach upon it, and they made a plea to a king to actually become a barony in and of itself. They weren't part of any particular barony, and I guess the king has set his army out here to evaluate whether or not that was the right thing to do. And most of the army sort of laughed and went, "Well, it's your own problems. You really should be added to another barony," and left. But at the pleading of the town, left one patrol in town to kind of help them out with for whatever reason the swamp was encroaching. And apparently, that patrol went into the swamp one day and came back a couple days later and attacked the whole town. The town was able to fight fight them off with incredible losses. And just as they were kind of gathering their, we would say within a 24-hour period of that, the whole swamp sort of rose against him, is the way the story goes. He doesn't really remember direct, but he has to teach history. That's part of what he's doing at school. So it's part of the local history he teaches. So the swamp rose up against them. The town was overcome with all kinds of nature of the swamp. You would say insects and gators, and frogs, and the townsfolk at that point just went, okay, we're done. There wasn't much left. They had lost most of the population just fighting off the soldiers that had come back out of the swamp aggressive for some reason. And so they all moved to this new area, and they called it Fairfield.
Well,
Does Will know
none
if anyone else
none
from
of that
town
bodes
has
well
gone
for
to the
us.
swamp lately?
So no, none of that bodes well. And then Rhonda, you said if Will knows anybody else has gone to the swamp lately. Most people.
Yeah, does anyone hunt there?
Hunt? No. Even the rangers in the area will stick to the forest around the swamp, but don't really like going into it. There's not much worth hunting there. That's worth the risk reward wise. There's not much worth doing.
We have a super ranger with us, so.
Oh, and I've got some really cool spells. I mean, I hit him with it, but I've got him. All right. There's a group of them. I'm bound to hit one of them.
Yeah. Our ranger has more abdominal muscles.
That's what you need in a swamp. So I think we're well equipped.
Yeah.
They're great
Extra
everywhere.
abs.
They're all
Let's go
weather.
burning.
Now, I assume that the little menhir standing stone marker is where we encountered the red cap.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. That is where you encounter the red cap.
Okay. Well, does anybody think of any reason why we shouldn't proceed to our doom?
Because we're all going to die. I think we should just move into town and become shopkeepers.
Sounds reasonable to me.
I think we should go back up to the central farm area and cut due west into the swamp. Maybe swing by the ruins of Brandon's Crossing before we go to try to find the temple.
I agree. Is there anything else we need to pick up, though, now that we know more about the swamp, that there's evil swamp creatures? And we probably need rope.
Is there anything Will would recommend?
Yeah, let's make sure we have
traversing
rope.
the swamp.
Inflatable boats. Zodiacs. We get Zodiacs.
Just recommends that you take enough food to last more than you think you're going to need it. Yeah, and stay on the trail.
Stay on the trail.
So
I think we need
we're
rope
going to
and
go
a
by the
boat.
store and purchase some rations.
Okay.
Yes.
That sounds like a good idea.
All right.
Easy to do.
Is there in the store while they're shopping for rations? I'm going to look around for something that would help a gnome float, like a small cask or a bundle of cork or something.
What about
that.
What about a big water skin filled it with air?
Yeah. So an air bladder, something like this that might help a gnome float.
Yeah.
When the wading is too deep for small people.
Right. So there are definitely water skins, the pig stomachs and other items that you could inflate with air and sort of wrap them to you in some way or another. I'm mimicking wrapping around your arm because I'm immediately thinking of water wings with a pig bladder.
Water wings, yeah. I'm gonna get some little gnome water wings.
Inner tubes.
Adam, you better do that too. Aren't you kind of small?
I think a few of these wouldn't be bad to have anyway.
Or Phantom?
Yeah, I'd like us to have a couple extra water skins, because what if there isn't fresh water much in there?
Well, I think they'd be good to attach to other things if we have to port over a swamp.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to get.
I think I might want to
Everybody
buy
agree,
some
folks.
more flammable oil too.
Okay. So oil is a little bit costly. The water skins and stuff, that'll all set you back 5 gold total for the different skins you're looking for. Oil, what kind of oil? Just like lamp oil, flammable lamp oil?
I want something that's going to burn. I mean,
It'll burn. It won't explode, but it'll burn.
Not explode, but fairly easy to ignite.
Yeah. Okay. So they do have some
Volatile.
oil. Yep. So that is basically 5 gold. It's a little expensive per little flask of it.
I'll get 3 flasks.
Okay.
Do we
That's
have enough
expensive oil.
rations?
We should buy about 10 days each, maybe.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
1 unit of ration is 10 days. No, it is. That's what I looked up.
I never.
mine
I
says
never
We probably
day.
still have some left from the start, but
Yeah.
yeah, we should get rations. We should. I'm just thinking we need some oil and make sure we all have rope.
Yeah, everybody needs to get rope, and everybody should
Have
get
rope.
rations. I mean, Will specifically said take plenty of chow.
Yep.
Yes.
I got.
We're going to get
Okay.
tired of eating alligator probably.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to buy that cured leather I was talking about.
Just so gooseneck knows, I hear it tastes like chicken.
Chicken.
So how much would will the rope and ration set us back?
The rope isn't much. If you're buying just hemp rope, it'll set you back a gold. The rations will set you back about a gold per day. And then the
I already
leather,
had rope, so I'm just going to buy the.
you're good then. And then the leather will set you back 15 gold. Ivan.
Jeez. Okay. How many pieces of leather is that?
So that's enough cured leather that you could conceivably use it as if you had the skills to put it together, you could use it as armor or legs. But right now it's just leather.
I'm asking because it's a requirement for the casting of mage armor, in which I do have learned and prepared.
Oh, okay. So you just need a little bit for that. You don't need.
I need
that huge
right. I
amount.
need some little strips. Yeah.
Okay.
Like pocket amounts, I think.
So when he brings this out and says 15 gold, and you back up a little bit and you point to strips, he says, "Oh yes, well, you can have that for a gold. It's just scraps. I don't care."
Perfect.
I'd like
That
to
sounds
some of those scraps too.
You want some scraps too? Okay.
This guy makes some
I'd get some
serious
scraps.
money selling this stuff. Gold for leather scraps?
Yes, it's a large amount. I will never question the spell that he casts again. He will always have enough material.
Perfect. If not, I can always go to.
Unless you lose it in the swamp somewhere.
Oh boy, Gene will make me some more, right, Gene?
We can get your crocodile, sure.
If not, we can make that of old poo hole up there.
I feel
Yeah,
like we need
do
some
that
kind
too.
of a sledge.
You're gonna need a stool for that first, sir.
Buddy, yeah. Then I'll start at the bottom and work my way up.
Okay. So it sounds like you have all the things you need.
Shall we head to the farm?
Sure.
Okay. Off to the farm you go.
Abram's anxious to start killing. Might as well start at the farm.
Yeah, of course.
Don't kill the widow, for Pete's sake.
I don't think we start at the farm. We start our adventure at the farm, not the killing, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Is the
No, we're
is
not.
the widow
Oh, now
in
you're
evidence?
preaching peace?
The widow is there. She's pleased to see you. She's happy. She'll offer a little bit of food.
We're going to tell her what our plans are and ask for her blessing and any advice and anything practical she might have to offer.
And a
Because
chicken.
we're worried.
And a
Or
chicken.
leather scrap. Or plate armor.
Yes, or
I haven't any plate armor, but you can have a chicken if you like, and I would just wager you should be careful out there and stick together. And I've heard things from the ranger that you should beware the lights if you see them.
This is the ex-ranger, the former the corpse formerly known as Ranger.
Yes.
Did he mention anything
Yeah,
about the
wow.
lights other than be wary of them?
No. He just some folk, I guess, think they're a part of nature in there, and he was adamant that they were not.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I guess
Hmm.
it depends on what kind of nature you're talking about.
Well, let's set off before it gets dark.
All right.
I'd
Well,
like-
thanks for the chicken.
Let's try to make this temple before nightfall.
Okay.
Plus, we can see the lights better in the dark, probably. The will-o-wisps or whatever the hell they are.
The ones that we're
Absolutely.
supposed to stay away from.
But you can see
Those
him better
lights?
in the dark.
Yeah, you know I'm sneaking up on you.
All
'Cause
right.
everybody's warned us about them. So,
So into the swamp you head.
hey, look, there's us.
All right.
Yeah. And there
Very
you are.
swamp.
What a fine assortment of figures that is.
It is a fine assortment. Now the walking order, I'm not sure is how you want it. Pugil seems to be in the lead there.
That would be
I-
incorrect.
I usually take second.
I'll take point. Gene
Yeah,
and
let's
I will
put
be on point.
Abran up front. He is the expendable one.
I
You
think,
and Corncob should be up front. I'll guard the rear.
Yeah, I don't have any missile
Because we got a
capabilities,
bunch of
so
weak guys in the back, so
I do
I'll-
think Pugil could ride on Aberrant's back like Yoda in the swamp.
How about that walking order? You good with that?
Perfect.
That looks good to me.
Oh yes,
I'm
behind
gonna-
Rhonda, but in front of
I'm going to have an animal friendship spell and two cure wound spells for my
Okay.
spells today. I don't know how to indicate it on my little chart, so
It's okay. You just indicated it. Yeah. So
all right.
this
All
is
right, Abran.
yeah. Take it over.
Let's
So
get
away.
rolling.
let me get some passive
Yeah.
perceptions from everybody because I want to know what people are going to see passively. Abran, what is your passive perception? So not a roll.
At
but
16.
6.
Oh, my passive
Passive, yeah.
perception. I'm sorry. I don't. Oh,
It's under the saving
wisdom-
throw.
I get I have a 12 passive wisdom, which is in parentheses says perception.
Okay,
Right.
perfect. And corn cob, what is yours?
mine is a 13.
All right. Pugil, what is yours?
11.
Okay. And Fathom, what's yours?
9.
Oh,
Observing, not my big area.
situational awareness, not so good.
Ivan, what's yours?
Yeah.
No.
mine is
Her mind is on the mysteries of the arcane.
12.
just to be correct. I'm not rolling. I'm just telling you what it is. Correct?
Right. Gooseneck, what's
Yeah.
yours?
13.
13. Okay.
That's a good trail.
Justin,
I'm
check
not
your
sure
text.
this is good for a swamp. Either.
Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. Yeah. So you are traveling through the swamp directly due west from the farm area, which you notice that the ground is moist a little bit, sort of sloppy
Ugh.
here if you step off of the main, or really Abran's sort of picking your way around the best path. So Abran, why don't you make a survival check to see how well you're choosing the path for everybody?
17.
Wow. Okay.
I have a +2, so I rolled a 15 +2.
Nice. Yeah. So Abran seems to be keeping you all dry on top of sort of peaks of dirt, and the swamp rolls off to the side. You can hear a lot of insects some strange sounds from time to time out there, but overall, it's nothing that you don't necessarily expect.
Well, the
However,
witch's minions haven't betrayed us yet, and
no,
which way we're
not
supposed
yet.
to be going.
However, I don't know if this is in a camera shot yet, but you do see
No,
suddenly flare up
a porcupine.
out there some lights along just sort of
Oh no!
Abrin, I'm sorry, Corncob and Gooseneck see them first.
Oh no! That's what we were supposed to avoid. So
Well, then let's
We don't
avoid-
walk straight towards them.
they're about eye level.
Yeah, they look as though someone might be holding them as torches. And
And they're blue.
And they're blue.
they are bluish in color.
Those are really
Cool.
cool.
They light up too. That's cool.
Well, I think we should continue to avoid them. But
Yeah.
if you have missile weapons, you might want to get those out.
Yeah,
Did
I
you say
second
go
that.
ahead and shoot
That's
the
the
missiles?
word up the line. Lights.
Should
Just
Yeah,
lights
avoid
over
shoot
there.
the missiles. Shoot the missiles.
No.
Ooh. Okay.
Oh,
That was a
Just
double
avoid.
no.
We got to get to the objective is to get to the temple without any losing of hit points.
So
All
do
right,
they
I-
seem to be moving as we move, or are they stationary?
Make a perception check.
Everybody or just Corncob?
Just Corncob here.
6.
They, as you see it, they seem to be almost guiding you across the path, the same path that Abrin is picking out. They seem to be moving, but at a distance, keeping with where you would be traveling.
Abram, do you think
Just
those
kinda-
lights are stalking us?
yeah, it's like this movie I watched, Brave, a few years ago. It's very similar. Let's just
Well,
keep following.
I feel like they're stalking us. What do you feel like? Can you have a look?
Maybe some
No,
survival knowledge or something.
Yeah, can I do it? Can I? Is
With
there
your
anything I can do
rangeriness.
to increase my understanding of this? Or
You can make a
Right.
survival check, sure, or a nature check.
Okay.
Nature would.
nature would be better, or survival?
Well,
'Cause I have
nature
better
will-
chance for survival.
Survival
Yeah.
will give you a better interpretation of how to deal with them, and nature will give you a better understanding of what they are in the scope
All right.
of the world.
I'm gonna roll nature. I got a -1 in nature for a ranger. Is kind of stupid, but I'm gonna do it. I have a 14 total.
14. Okay, it's not bad. You feel like these are. They are truly currently on the best path as you sort of pick it and move through. You can see that they are on that, but it isn't any natural creature or phenomena that you know or understand. There's no, as you approach where they were at some point and you get there, there's no strange gases, nothing that should ignite. So naturally speaking, these don't strike you as natural in any way, shape, or form.
Can I tell whether they would be potentially created by the dryad that we met earlier?
So you could, so your knowledge you've never heard of dryads using lights to lure people or to guide people.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
they're
they're just keeping pace with us as we go. They just kind of keep pace with us.
Yeah, they're keeping pace sort of ahead of you.
Okay,
Good safety feature in the in this.
and we can't see any behind
launch
us. They're
that.
only ahead of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're keeping
let's
pace with
keep
us. They're
trucking.
stalking us.
Yeah. Let's
All
keep
right.
Just
trucking.
wait until we
Let's,
get to the killing field.
Yeah, they're keeping pace. Let's just keep moving. And
Quicken the pace. Let's go. Get to the
And we're
temple.
going to the old town for the temple, right?
Avoid the alligators. Let's boogie.
All right.
Yeah, keep
So,
looking for those, Abram.
one last
I see
survival
one
check.
there, and I see two right now.
Abram, you're guiding the party, so one last survival check
Yeah.
to see how well you get them right into the
Okay.
area you want to.
14.
Okay, that's not bad at all. You end up approaching. Well, so I'll move your minis, but before I do,
There's
well,
a mad
no.
file cabinet somewhere.
I know there is. It's angry.
What was that?
It's a mimic file cabinet. I'm going to move your minis now, actually.
All right.
By the way, big shout out to Anne for doing a good job so far. Good job, Anne. Since she's doing my job for me tonight.
Yeah. Just a much better job.
Oh no, infinitely better. Almost professional.
Yeah.
So you approach an area
you can't
where
even compare the two.
it appears like an old, like there was a town here. It's run down. The best looking building is a temple, and in the distance, and it still, even then, is a little run down and ruined looking. And you see the lights wink out as you approach the area.
Oh, they don't like
Okay.
the temple.
I am. My background is Outlander. So what I want to be doing is checking the map against the terrain as we travel to check the accuracy of the map. And does it appear that we've reached that town that's marked on the map?
So two questions. One, is cartography something you're proficient with?
No, but my background feature is Wanderer. I have an excellent memory for maps and geography and can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around you.
Okay.
And I can also forage for food.
Make a history check then. Or, well, that's not quite true. Make a survival check.
Okay. I rolled an 18, and my survival is a +2, 20.
Okay, wow. The map is pretty good. It's a little off. It seems like this is, it matches the terrain. It was a little bit dry, and as you approach the town, it got a little more swampy. And you know the town is just sort of outside of the skirts of the where that map showed the swamp area. But it's a little swampier than the map would dictate, I would say.
Mm.
Yeah. So as you come in to this area, you can see an old, sort of burned out. Well, not burned out. It's sort of overgrown town.
I feel like
Yeah.
the lights didn't want to come close to the temple or the town or something.
Yeah. Well, possibly.
Do
So-
we suspect this is the temple that Will took refuge in?
Yeah.
Or is this the one?
You would
Okay.
suspect. So, I'm sorry. I have a very meta. I'm going to pull us out of the game for a second. I apologize because we haven't established this yet, Justin, in a session 0 or anything. Or do I need to be in a like D&D approved world, or am I in my own world for this, or what are we doing here?
You can be in whatever world you want to.
I've kept it very generic, but I don't want Okay, just want to know.
Oh, you're good to go.
In that case, this is a temple to Apara, which would be sort of a well-known god, a well-known goddess, deity.
What's her field of specialty?
Yeah. It is very much a warrior type specialty. Not quite though, more heroic, noble fighting as opposed to just war itself. It's a very justice-oriented deity.
Hopefully not anyone that
So-
Jason's character has a problem with.
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
I would stay out of there, Abran. You might get struck dead.
No, it's okay.
I'm not worried about Abram.
His abs are very heroic.
Very. So
Yeah,
that
but he's almost.
yeah, and you can see the temple as you approach. And in this shot, you can see it over on the far left of the screen.
Oh man, what a great sculpt that temple is!
Yeah, who sculpted that? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know, but they're probably a genius.
Humble brag.
Cheese eater.
Are they modest too?
Yeah.
Oh. Modesty doesn't always come with genius. No. Actually. So it suddenly gets kind of quiet. You don't
Dun, dun, dun.
notice anything else of activity in this town. Even the animals have silenced a little bit.
The
Abram,
temple
what
still
come
company
looks
scout
is
like
it?
the temple. We'll cover you from here.
I'm the archer.
What,
I can
what
cover
time
I'll
of
go
day
up
is it?
there. We're checking this out to see if we can stay here the night, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go.
And
let's
what
go do
time
it.
is it?
Oh,
Is it
Abram's
night?
fast.
It is night. It is getting, you're tired of the day's travel already.
Yeah, we could see the lights, so
Yeah.
I assume
right.
we were.
So
Yeah.
since I'm a big heavy tank, why don't I go check it out?
I'll go
And
with you.
I'll
Abran can
go
cover
too.
the rear since he's a. All right.
Sounds
Let's-
like gooseneck
let's-
corncob.
Yeah, let's all
I
get
don't know.
closer, but some of us stay to the back.
We're gonna send the healer. Send the
So-
healer
so-
into jeopardy.
Abran and I are gonna switch spots for now.
Okay.
Where's
And-
Enzo going?
Corncob, you
And
going
Corncob
up?
is coming
All right.
with.
Enzo's not used to me sitting here.
All right.
I don't think he approves of our marching order.
Yeah, he's really voicing his opinion.
So I'll tell you what you see.
Um,
Well, go ahead.
I would like to be with the party of two. I'll be the third one with my bow out, ready to provide cover. Fire.
Up there with
That's
the
good.
with the
Yeah.
okay.
The squishies are alone.
Yep.
Well, let's not fall too far behind.
The squishies are alone. I mean, that's not too far behind. How far? What's the farthest you'd like them to get ahead? Would be my next question.
What do you say, Bobby?
Crossbow range.
30 feet, 60 feet,
Let's go
30 feet
60.
sounds good.
60.
Let's go 60.
okay.
Okay.
60. Okay.
60. You can shoot a crossbow that far. And while they're thrashing in the jaws of the gator, we can make our escape.
Sounds perfect.
There you go.
Oh,
Where's those
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 are quite
dead
corpses.
those are dead hobbits.
Well, that's
No.
concerning.
That's
So
terrible.
as you're
They're dead gnomes.
walking through,
Work.
you see, I know those look more like desiccated bodies, but in this case, they're going to be skeletal remains of it. It's a mix. It looks like townsfolk, and of it looks like people wearing armor, possibly sort of soldier. And as you didn't notice them until from within their body a little blue glow lit up, and you watched it sort of come out of their chest, rise up through where their trachea would have been, and
Wow.
expel
They
out of
make
their
weird
mouths.
noises too.
And these blue
Well, now
lights
Frankie's sitting next to me.
pop out from above them.
Oh, man.
That seems concerning.
Uh-oh. Here we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, okay. So now we know what the lights are.
And I am going to need you to roll initiative.
Oh, boy.
I am. In fact,
Oh, crap.
let's make this. Let's put a little battle music in here. little tension at least. Abrin, what was your initiative roll?
18 plus 4 is 22.
Ooh, +4. Wow.
Yeah.
Corncob.
15.
Pugil.
5 plus 2 is 7.
Fathom.
14.
Ivan.
4.
Gooseneck.
What's the plus?
It's your dexterity modifier.
Oh, okay. 11.
11. Okay. Abrin.
You should have an initiative thing on your sheet.
You.
Seeing it.
It's right below your proficiency bonus left of your armor class.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
okay.
just look at your dexterity bonus.
It had
Same
disappeared.
thing.
Abrin, you see 4 of these lights pop up. I only have 2 on the screen at the moment, but they're going to come up around the corpses. There are 4 corpses out there. And you
Now,
are able to
they-
react the quickest.
I have a question. Are
Yes.
are they near the temple? Are there any in the temple? Or are they just...
There are none in the temple. This is all part of the approach, and I wouldn't say it's town square, but it's a little bit. It's definitely the square that's outside the temple. The temple itself seems void of these lights.
Okay. Let's...
Do I think these are undead?
Well, hold on. We'll go through the order, and then I'll tell you, and then I'll answer your questions on it. So, Abrin.
So are these lights making advances towards us, or are they just staying where the corpses are?
Well, so you saw them sort of drift up out of the corpses. It's hard to tell with lights whether or not they're aggressive or not. You can make an insight check to
Yeah, I think I want
determine
to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just you're very faster than they are. What was your insight check?
I've got a whole number 5. So I'm not very insightful. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you were faster than them, but not as insightful as them. So you're not sure what their motives are. Only that they are lights that you've been told to avoid by other people.
Right. Okay. Is that my turn?
No, you can still take some action if you want.
You think I should attack them? Since we've been warned? Since we've been warned about them?
It's your initiative.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to fire an arrow at him and see what happens.
It's your funeral.
All right. Fire the arrow.
I rolled a 14, plus my bonus is 20. 5 damage plus 4, 9 damage if it does damage.
Okay, so 20, you can see they're very, very nimble. Even as your arrow flies out towards them, it's like they almost moved out of the way, but you are faster, barely. Your arrow goes through. Did you say 9 damage?
Yes, that'd be 9 damage.
Okay, so it looks like it just the light trails off behind the arrow and follows it for a minute, or not a minute, but just a moment as it passes by. But the light itself just sort of recoalesces without too much problem. So you feel like you hit it, you probably injured it, maybe, but it's not like injuring a fleshy, live body. It's like it was not quite corporeal.
Okay.
And your arrow
Yeah, you
tears
stay here
through.
and fight them off, Abran.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I'm up front. You're back there being little chicken little.
And so they all turn like a sort of blue, and they approach you. They just sort of hover over the ground,
Blue light special. On 3.
come in towards you.
Oh boy, those are cool little doodads. What are those
Yeah, those
lights
are-
made out of, Frank?
Little LEDs.
Yeah, so those are little LEDs. Those are they are Dwarven Forge lights, and there's a little stone base and an LED light that pops up from them.
Those are cool.
Oh, they're a commercial product.
They are a commercial product, yeah.
That's cool.
Okay, so they move in towards you, Abram, and as they come at you, you feel your hair sort of raise up, and you can feel this sort of static electricity reach out for them. And a little jolt of lightning sparks towards you from the one on your right as it gets close to you. That's a 10 to hit you. I don't think that does.
My armor class is
It just rolls around you a little bit. The other one comes up. It's a 22 to hit you, and the lightning just sort of sparks out and strikes you very, very cleanly. And as it does, you get a jolt. Ooh, ouch. 13 points of lightning damage.
Oh my god.
Just stiffens you up from the other one. There are two more that are just sort of hovering out there, and they start to move towards Abram and then start to move back towards Pugh and Abram. They're sort of, it's like they're trying to decide what they're going to do, but they haven't made a move towards either one yet, a solid move. And so now it's Corncob's turn.
Okay, I need just a point of clarification. Do I feel these are undead, or do I feel these are creatures, or in terms of spell use?
You are a cleric, so make a religion check.
All right. 18.
18. Yeah, the nature of them actually coming out of the corpses, almost like a form of spirit or soul, it strikes you as being very undead.
Okay, then I'm going to try to turn undead. My channel divinity natural ability now, I guess.
What are the rules on that I have to be aware of?
Each undead that can see or hear me within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw DC 13. If it fails, it's turn for 1 minute or until it takes damage.
Okay. They are all within
Current
30
creature
feet.
must spend its turns trying to move as far away from me as it can.
What's the DC on that again? 13?
13.
Okay.
And
so
how many creatures does it affect?
It will affect all 4 of these.
Anybody in 30 feet.
Mm-hmm. So the one to the left of Abram that missed appears to sort of waver off in distress with that spell. Your holy radiant light of your deity scares them away. The one to the right that attacked Abram also loses its taste for attacking. Yeah, so does the one near the back. Actually, all 4 of them sort of retreat out away from you as you do that, or begin to. They all look like they clearly they turn from a blue color more to an orangish color and begin to move the action to move away. It's not their turn, so they can't. But
I feel like we should consolidate towards the temple.
Are you going to tell people that?
Yes, with whatever action I have left.
You can shout that out for free.
Yes, I'm going to say I think we should consolidate toward the temple.
Okay.
Good advice.
Fathom, it's your turn. You hear that advice.
I'd like to start heading towards the temple. Can I think while I run or walk?
Can you think? Yes.
Sorry.
I'd like to.
Can you chew bubblegum and walk?
In real life or my character? Because those are 2 very different questions.
Yeah, you can always move your
I would
speed.
like to scan my Arcana knowledge for anything that might be relevant about what these are or how to make them or unmake them.
Sure, make an Arcana check.
Well, I got a 1 for a total of 5.
The stress of these things coming down on your party like this is a bit much. You can't think
So
clearly.
in fact, no, I cannot walk.
Good thing you
Thank
weren't
up.
chewing
Thank you,
bubble
Gene.
gum.
Thanks, Gene, for cursing me.
He's just after your bones.
Yeah.
That's right.
Can we double walk if we don't take another action? Does that run?
Yeah, and I
race,
kind of
something like
assumed
that?
you did. You walked your movement, which you
Yes.
can always do for
Thank
free,
you.
and then you used your action to dash to get up.
Yes, being amongst the strong people is exactly what I want in life.
All right. All right. And then Gooseneck.
I would like to smash one of those skeletons.
No, one of the bodies that are just on the ground.
One of the bodies. Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
The
Do I need
light
to-
came out of?
Roll for that.
Yeah, you'll need to.
The closest one to me.
This will be an interesting experiment.
Roll your attack.
Alrighty. Natural 20.
Wow. All right, so you just
Plus 4. 24.
wham.
Whoa!
So you killed the dead
1D.
guy.
Calm down.
A lot.
So 7 plus 2, 9 damage, and then what's the thing for a natural 20 roll?
You roll a damage dice twice. Roll it again.
Ooh.
A 1.
1. Okay.
So 8 plus 2, 10.
Okay. So yeah, what weapon are you using? Is that a club?
My Morning Star.
Morningstar. Close. It just
It's a melee.
racks down anything left of this skeleton's sternum and rib cage, just compresses, poof, down.
Crunch.
You push the body a little farther into the wet ground. It doesn't seem to impact the lighting in any way, both negatively or positively.
Ooh.
It probably didn't feel as rewarding as you wanted it to, in fact.
So it didn't. I didn't see any changes in the light. It just crunched the bones.
Yes.
All right.
Shucks.
It was
I want a
worth- it was
blue
worth
light
the shot.
shillelagh.
Yeah.
You still have at least 5 feet of, I'm sorry, that was probably 5 feet of movement, so you have like 25 feet left if you want to make your way for the temple as well.
Okay. Yeah. I'll start
Okay.
moving towards the temple.
I am also going to rub off and grab a mini real quick. I will be right back.
Well, each time I cast a spell, it lasts for a whole minute. So
How many times can you do that? How many times a day can
I don't think there's a limit. It's not really a spell; it's an ability.
Yeah, but you can only
Where's-
channel divinity so many times a day. I have played a
I don't know
cleric,
what
so-
I can't. There's no limit on the written down. I'm sure that's true.
Hmm.
Do these things growl? Is that what that is?
It just says as an action I can do it. Here, this is what's growling.
Oh no. That's adorable. Oh man, stream just got 10 times better. Oh, that's cool.
It's just that's awesome.
All right,
Doctor, I think
way
you
down.
Yeah.
I had Archer for a minute and he actually stayed calm, so that was a miracle.
Gotta run back. Okay.
Well, I don't think I dare do that with Enzo.
You made it into
it
the
said-
temple.
You can do it once between rests. At 6th level, you can do it twice between rests, and at 18 level, you can do it 3 times between rests.
Aha. You get Pugil. It's your turn, by the way.
I am sprinting for the temple and shrieking like a girl.
Your move is 25 feet, I believe, so you're able to move 50 feet total if you run and then run harder.
Yes, that's exactly what I do.
Does it get an extra foot for screeching like a girl?
Normally.
Run, Forrest, run.
Run, Forrest, run.
considering. All right. All right, and Ivan.
Yeah. I guess I'll heed the advice against my better judgment, which is to hurl as many magic missiles as I can muster against these things. So
Let's
from
use
what I
that
can tell,
big magic. Oh, never mind.
yeah, that one. Thanks.
You can hurl
Anyway,
from
there's
inside the temple.
reasonable. How many? There's two of them right on top of us, right?
But
Well, there are 4 total, but
Four.
they look as though they're going to.
They should be
Flee.
trying to move away from us for a minute
Right. Oh, okay, that's fair. Then yes, I will
until they're
take the
attacked.
opportunity. And at full speed, I'll follow. I guess the person who ran in front of me, which should be Pugh.
Gooseneck.
Oh, Gooseneck. Sorry.
Yeah, so I moved you off to the right just for purposes of not trampling your comrades through this. Okay,
Yes.
Abrin, it's your turn. You can see where everybody's sort of at the moment.
Yeah, I'm moving towards the temple.
Towards temple? Okay.
Yeah, I've already got my butt electrocuted. I don't want to do any more of that. I don't touch the hot place twice.
Bet you
Go
tightened
from
up
the
those abs.
frying
though.
pan into the fire. Yes.
Let's see. Oh, okay. Wow. They, you see them move off at a.
Can I do anything else besides move? Can I cast a spell or anything, or just move?
You, if you wanted to make it into the temple, you'd have to move and then use a dash action. But you have a bonus action left if you wanted to do something at the bonus.
Well, I was just going to do, since I lost 13 points, I do have Cure Wounds. I was going to try to do a Cure Wounds on myself.
Sure, I can put you
Pop myself
outside
up
the
a
temple a
little
little bit, and you can sort of stomp before you get there and heal
How
yourself.
far outside would I end up being?
10 feet.
I'll go 10
that's
feet
it.
outside, and I'm going to do a, oh, cool. And I got 8 points back.
Oh, that's Jean.
All right. Man, this D&D Beyond is really cool.
You're right. Sorry.
Yeah, it is really cool, isn't it?
It's really easy to
Right.
use. You can do all your minus and add it back, and it's really cool.
Okay. So, Abrin, you stop short. Boom.
Yeah.
Hit yourself with a cure. Right after that,
Yep.
these things scatter still. Now, you know, Corncob, that this power of your God that you, or of your belief or religion that you've sort of presented before these undead is only going to keep them at bay for a minute
Yep.
before they start coming back. But they do run, and they move at an alarmingly quick pace. They just sort
That's
of
60
run
seconds of
away
getting
from
into
you.
the temple.
Yeah, it's plenty of time to get into the temple. However, so they move, and now it is your turn, Korkov.
Oh, it's my turn? I'm
It
going to
is.
move toward the temple.
All right. You actually, I'm sorry. Instead of me getting up all this time, I'm going to ask Anne to move you into the temple.
I'd do it, but I can't.
Nope. No, I understand. It's directly opposite of where I am. It's like 8 feet from me. All right. Fathom.
No room at
I'm
the
also
end,
running to
sorry.
the temple.
Running for the temple. Okay. Fathom makes it into the temple as well.
Get to the chopper. Get
Gooseneck.
to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
I'm just gonna hurl insults at the floating lights. Your father was a Christmas light,
Lizard food.
and your mother was a candle.
You feel like you must be insulting them. They're moving so fast. Pugil.
I'm getting to the temple.
All right. Yep. Slurking through this. It's dry. Foomp, you make it up into the temple. And Ivan.
Same for me. I'll be, I guess, attempting to get into the temple if there's any space left, of course.
No, there's space. There is space in the temple.
Okay.
The only one not in the temple right now is Abram, but it's Abram's turn.
I'll move on in.
Right.
Okay.
Come on.
Abram moves into the temple as well. This temple is plenty big enough for all of you, including if you needed to rest in here. Do we have a shot of the temple, Ann? Oh, look at that. We do have one.
Very
That's
nice.
awesome.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Gorgeous shot.
Great sculpt.
Yeah.
Our camera operator / painter of this says great sculpt.
Oh yes, fantastic. Who can this
Still
terrain?
could have
amazing.
spent a little more time on it. Yeah. I don't know.
Whatever.
It's good. It's good.
Look at those jaggedy columns. Oh my.
No, the painter made it look a lot better than probably. So,
Great sculpt. I stand by my.
Yeah, that's right. That's a woman who knows her temples.
It doesn't take long before these lights
There's not no
sort of
stippling on it, I think, is what Proctor's saying.
stippling. There's not. I tell you this. There's no hand drawn in mosaics, Michael. I'm sorry.
yeah.
The lights begin to sort of come back, and before they, well, hold on. Before I get to there, during the rest of this minute that you're, that the effect that Corncob put in place is happening. Do you do anything? You're safely within the temple. You can see the lights moving out farther and farther away every round from you.
Can we make a religion check or something to see what Aparo would want for people from visitors to her temple?
Yeah, because I don't know that they can't come in here. It's just, that's all I got.
Right. Yes, you may.
Corncob, is there a chance you would know how to put these people permanently to rest?
I don't think
Because they're
so.
clearly not at rest.
That's a good.
Can
good
we
question.
all?
I
we
can
all
try,
make
I
this
guess.
religion
Was
check
that
or
a
just
religion
one?
roll?
So if you're skilled, if you're proficient in religion, I will let you make this check.
Okay.
Or if you're a cleric. So who is able and willing to make it?
I will try.
I am
I'm not overly good at religion checks.
Okay.
13.
Okay. So a couple things. Just your general sense of Apara's temple. It's a very justice-oriented temple, and she doesn't require much but acting honorably of the people in there. There wasn't like a tithe
we're sunk.
necessarily. You do see a basin with water in it that looks clean and pure up towards the front of the temple. And so Corncob, though, you further, sort of with that roll and with that check, you realize that this temple has been sort of the ground around it has been consecrated and prevents undead from coming in, as well as other things, probably fiends and probably some other typically considered evil things.
So I'll tell people it feels like we're safe from evil undead and maybe some other evil things.
but not alligators.
I don't know about alligators.
Not alligators.
Not alligators.
I don't think they're evil. I think they're just hungry.
But maybe we could turn them evil and then we'd be protected from them.
Ooh, that's clever.
I'd like to, while I'm in here, before I cast my mage armor, since we've got a little bit of time, feeling now safe because of what Corncob has told us, I'm gonna walk up, and I realize that we're dirty from the swamp, right? So I'm gonna walk up, and I'm gonna rinse my hands in this basin of water because it looks like it's cleaner than all the other water, and I don't want this dirt on my hands.
Pollute the holy
Brilliant.
water. That's good.
Brilliant. Is there a collection or something on the wall?
I am not, mind you, my character
Is
is
this-
not wise, smart, but I'm not wise. So if you want to interfere with
I
what I'm
think
doing,
our sacrifice has chosen himself.
Yeah,
Go for it.
cool. It's been fun playing with you, Hal.
um, that's interesting.
Well,
So,
we could stay here all night and see if the lights go away, right?
yeah,
I think we should stay here all night. I can try
let's
this
make
again
camp.
tomorrow.
Because
Yes,
Will
I agree.
said that he spent the night in the temple and the lights got everybody but him.
Yep.
did.
And we don't have any idea how to put them to rest. So we don't
No.
have to
It's
attack.
not my deal, unfortunately.
Maybe when
I'm
we come
breaking
back
up my
here, we can
chicken.
look at his head.
The holy water cleaned your hands nicely, by the way.
Brilliant.
Awesome.
You could have put that in a flask and affected vampires with it. But
Well,
We
no.
might be able to affect we might be able to
Maybe the
affect
holy
the
water
lights
would
with
make
it.
them go away.
Yeah, maybe so.
Does anyone
Unpolluted
have a
holy
holy
water.
water sprinkler
Unpolluted.
or a water pistol or something?
is it now dirty since
I
I've
have a
washed my hands?
flask, but
it is
Hey,
now
let's
dirty.
fill
You've
your-
washed your hands in it.
Let's fill one of your flotation bladders with the holy water.
I mean, it
Little
can't
late.
hurt to do it. Is
Hey,
is it unholy? Dirty
Well,
and holy
let's
and
let's
unholy
make
aren't
the
the
wizard
same.
fill it up and send him out there.
It's not necessarily unholy. It is dirty now that it's been sort of gotten swamp wash off of the
I think it's worth
wizard's hands.
putting a water skin full of it.
I think we
Hey,
can
do you
wait
guys
for
Nothing
a
else.
while, let it settle.
We can pour it on him in the night when he's asleep.
This water is fantastic, guys. You want to come wash your hands?
I
Somebody
don't
get him
feel
away
like
from
that's
there.
something I want to do.
So
I'm clean.
you're clean.
Oh, Abram does it too.
No, I'm
Hey,
clean.
Never doesn't
Corncob,
get
did you-
dirty.
Good.
I don't think you realize it.
So
I'm
I'm
busting
gonna
out
fill
the
a water
cords.
skin with it.
Okay. All right. Fathom fills a water skin with it. What you notice is the lights will disappear. And then suddenly, just out where one of the windows used to be, you'll see it just flare up. And they flare up a bright orange or red or blue. The color is not necessarily consistent. But they'll flare up bright, and it's almost, they'll cast garish, sort of unnatural lights, and then they'll just disappear. But they occasionally will flare up around the temple. And
Is it like
as-
bugs hitting a bug light? Are they eating things?
Yeah. Is it like they're trying to get in and they
a
can't?
little bit? Yeah, it's a little bit like they're trying to get in. And you notice that there's more than 4 of them. 4 of them was the original number, but occasionally, as you kind of look at the count, you're like, wait, that couldn't be possible unless it was 6 or more.
In the garishness of their little flares, can I see if there's more corpses laying around?
Yeah, so as you look out, you can observe that there's more corpses. This is clearly, since you listened to Will's story, it would make sense that this is the fallen from when the army's patrol came back into town and sort of the town defended itself, but for the most part they attacked the town and slaughtered. There's a lot of
Do I
dead
think-
out there.
So
Okay, I
there's a
think this
lot.
would be
How close do these things get to the temple?
Right up to the walls.
Okay, so if
So
I
the area that's consecrated is not very large.
No, it's the temple itself and not any of the surrounding area.
would it
Because
be
I was
feasible
wondering.
for me?
I have a question. For
I was
Zach,
just-
actually.
Hold on. So
I had a
first,
question for
Rhonda.
Corn Cob.
Yeah, Rhonda, go ahead.
If we buried these bodies or put them in the temple, would that stop it? Because then they'd be buried in like consecrated ground and respected and whatnot.
I had a similar question about if I would know if these things were as dangerous during daylight.
Okay, Corncob, make a religion check, and then we'll get to Bobby.
I guess I need to know more about what they are.
Pugil. Yeah, you do.
19.
19. You feel like if they were given that it's beyond the time for a proper burial. That the circumstances under which they perished in the first place set them up to be the undead they are now, and they are definitely malevolent, and they feed and consume despair and the lack of hope from people. They enjoy watching the suffering of others, and it's probably
So
beyond
washing them
where-
with the holy water, washing those skeletons wouldn't
No, it
put a
wouldn't do it.
dent.
I
in it.
have an idea.
Being
So-
filled with joy with
But before your idea, Bobby had a question.
I have an idea.
Okay.
Pugil is going to take out his ration tin and get some of this holy water out of the basin and wait till one of these things appears near the window and see if I can't splash holy water on it and see what happens.
Yeah, just make an attack roll. At some point, this will happen. They will appear.
Oh, and that 20.
It's a perfect splash. You see it cover over where the light would be. And as you do, you see the holy water sort of pass right through it. There seems to be no ill effect, no for the better or the worse. The water just sort of sprinkles out onto the ground. Doesn't seem to impact these undead at all.
Alas.
Ooh, bummer.
Too bad.
So I'm
Bummer.
curious.
And then, yeah,
have
Justin,
a
you had.
So I do have an understanding, I guess, of spells. Maybe not so much religion, but from a I guess this is directed at Corncob. Since we know these are undead, could you try maybe casting Cure Light Wounds on one of them? They don't like that, right? Undead don't like light stuff.
Corncob, you have been trained a little bit. You would know that a cure spell wouldn't necessarily impact undead.
I don't think it would. I actually would like to look around and see if there's a little piece of rubble from this temple.
There is a lot of rubble around.
I'd like to pick up a little piece of rubble and toss it at the next blue flame I see.
Okay. It is getting dark. Definitely the sun has set. And now you're just sort of in this temple in the darkness. I don't think the darkness bothers most of you, though. And the light, as they flare up, they are the light that's out there. And you're able to easily make an attack roll as one of them flares up and you throw a piece of temple rubble.
13.
13. So as it sort of dodges out of the way of this piece of temple, so you can't quite tell if it didn't like it or the temple itself was harmful to them or they were just so quick that it didn't hit them.
I'm going to take a little piece and the next piece of rubble and just stick it in my pouch.
Okay. You've got a piece of the temple.
Well, I would suggest that we make camp and let our cleric get rest so he can get his channel divine energy back. So in case we need to turn these turkeys again, we can do that. And we'll just set up sentry shifts until dawn.
Well, if we're going to sleep first.
I'm tired.
Oh, never mind. I don't think that's going to work.
Gonna sleep?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm taking a long rest.
before I go to sleep, I would like to poke around in the rubble to see if there's any doors or trap doors or entrances or exits that are not obvious.
Oh,
That's a good idea.
it
I will help
is.
you if you like.
Make an investigation roll.
Investigation?
Yep, investigation.
Ooh, I'm proficient in that.
Oh,
14.
oh my, actually.
I rolled a 12. I have a 2. That's
Okay.
a 14.
And then, but even before Michael spoke up, Rhonda said Fathom was going to help. So Fathom as well, make an investigation.
I rolled a natural 20.
Okay.
Ooh, thank you.
Wow.
And then I add 4 to that.
Wow. So between the two of you, you do find that a little cellar opens up. It's sort of under where the central pulpit would have been, I guess. You're able to just slide it out of the way a little bit. And you can see that it goes down into some stairs. It's not a very large area, but these stairs do traverse along. I assume you follow them. Maybe you don't. Tell me if you don't.
I do.
Okay.
I
So
do.
you follow them and
I
you
do.
feel like
they're
it,
still holy.
Yep. It goes about, you think about 100 feet away from this temple and then pops up into a small room that looked just like a root cellar, perhaps. And then that exits onto the surface, which I'm assuming you're not going at the moment.
No, not at the moment. So it's like some sort of secret escape
yet.
hatch.
Yeah, it is. It is like a secret escape hatch that leads from the temple to a root cellar.
And if I poke my head up into the root cellar, can I see anything in there? There, grandma's canned preserves or what's in there?
There is where once fresh roots stood. Now there are generations beget of potatoes and onions. The potatoes are growing nicely. The onions seem to be lacking due to the lack of sunlight in the root cellar, but they are still also trying to grow.
Very good. Well, I'll head back to the temple, get some Z's.
Okay.
I want to try one thing before I go to bed.
Yes.
I'd like to cast my word of radiance at a dancing blue light.
Word of radiance. Okay.
What does that do?
Utter a divine word. Burning radiance erupts from me. Each creature of your choice that I can see within range must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d6 radiant damage.
Oh.
I'm just experimenting at this point.
Right. So you feel like that hurt them. You hit a little hiss, and when you did, make a insight check.
Insight. Oh, I'm a +3 there. 15.
15. You felt like the sanctity of the temple broke down just a little bit.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so that's one maybe I try out in the field.
It did damage them, though.
Yeah, but I'm not going to sit
Did
in
it
here
damage
and
the temple too?
fling.
Yeah,
I'm not
don't,
going to fling spells
break the
from in
treehouse.
here.
don't break the treehouse.
No, I'm not gonna. I just needed to try it. Creature is always an odd word to me when it says it affects a creature. So
Yeah, you could always shoot Abran and see how it affects a creature.
well, I know how it affects Abran.
What? I'm feeling a little hostility here.
Just a little bit. That's okay.
You're just his favorite test subject.
I'm going to roll an intimidation roll on Bobby.
All right. So let's see.
Do we have
So
to
we
set
should
up?
set up watches. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, set up watches.
If you'd like to, you may. What are your watches going to be through the night?
I'd like to sleep first.
I'll watch first.
Yeah, I was injured. So maybe I should sleep first. But
I'll take
I don't
second
care.
watch.
Whatever.
Yeah,
How many watches are there to get to dawn?
I'll take first watch if lots of people are sleeping.
2, 4,
So
6, 8, 10, 12.
you can make 3 watches.
Okay.
Since
I'll
you
do
have an
third
elf in the party.
I'll do third. I'll sleep
Yeah.
first.
Oh, yeah.
Second, do third.
Okay.
Get all my spells prepared in the morning.
All right.
We need to
see.
roll.
No, I'll roll. I know your passive perceptions while you're on watch. Who's taking first watch again?
Pugil.
I can take
Pugil.
first watch.
Okay. Oh. Pugil and Fathom.
Well,
could
unless we
take
want
first.
to be 2, but I'm.
You could be.
I think it should be 2.
Okay. Pugil and
2
Fathom.
per. We got 6 people, 3 watches.
Yeah.
All right. That watch seems to go pretty well. You don't notice anything unusual. The lights don't stop flaring up at random intervals, though. Who's on second watch?
So they don't give up.
No, they don't.
I'll take second
Gooseneck.
watch.
So we have Gooseneck and
Ivan.
So Gooseneck and Ivan, same thing. It goes pretty well. There's not, again, the lights continue to flare up occasionally, but nothing gets into the temple. And then on fourth watch is where I figure we
Third
have.
watch.
Yeah, third watch, sorry. It's Aberrant and,
Corncob.
yep, Corncob. Okay, so you. Yeah, prayer, passives 12, Corncob. You hear, it sounds like footfalls stomping out there. A little bit like someone is slurking through the darkness.
Okay, I will draw Aberrant's attention to it.
Okay, once you point it out, Aberrant, you're also able to hear it. It doesn't sound close, at least 100 feet away to where your location is, but there's definitely something large out there. It could be a bear. It seems like it's probably bear-sized.
I hope it's a
Could be an alligator.
Jeez.
It could be
Well,
the bear,
crocodile.
not a bear.
That damn bear.
Yeah,
Can
it
I
could
tell
be
if it's
Betty.
actually if it's actually putting legs down and pulling them out of the muck or slithering through the muck? I mean, it would seem like
No, it sounds like legs. That was a good enough roll that you feel like it sounds like
Okay.
legs.
Ooh,
I'm
have my
going to
bow
go
ready.
stand next to Gooseneck, but I'm not going to wake him up yet. I just want to be able to kick him awake if I have to.
Yeah.
Okay. No worries. It sounds as though it passes by sometime. It doesn't take much time at all for it to, like, it doesn't know you're there necessarily.
The lights don't bother it.
And the lights did not, there's a lot of them out there, but there's nothing that made you think that the lights bothered it.
Mm.
And it's morning. So morning rises. It's not a pleasant morning. I would say that it is still a very swamp-like morning.
Swampy.
There's not a lot of enjoyment in this area. The swamp does sort of teem with life. There's a lot of insects and frogs, and you can hear movement out there. And the lights
Are
there as
go
well.
ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
The lights aren't there.
They are there occasionally, although less so.
Even in daylight.
Right. Well, it's getting to be there.
Ooh.
Are the skeletons in by water areas now that I can see better, or are they mostly on firmer ground?
Both. There are some that are in areas where water has definitely covered them up, and then there are some that are up on drier ground. They're just indiscriminately strewn about, definitely victims from a battle, or even aggressors from the battle that have fallen.
Okay.
How close is the closest body to the temple?
25 feet.
Okay.
Now,
So I couldn't make a
maybe
dash out and back in time in one move.
Yeah, you could dash out and then you could move out and then dash back in. You could.
Okay.
You couldn't really do
But
anything in that time, though.
Okay. Okay.
Does
I
my
think that's a
particular religion compel me to?
I don't trust you, buddy.
Tell Abram when he's doing silly things.
Corncob,
Yeah,
your religion.
brilliant.
Does my particular religion compel me to bury these bodies or fix them in any way? I mean, I already know I can't really affect the lights by affecting the bodies.
You feel if you were more powerful, you could put an end to the malevolence of the lights, but
Yeah.
that the spirits themselves are beyond your abilities, or most. They are far
Right.
into the corruption of undeath.
So we don't necessarily need to put them in holes in the ground or anything.
No.
All right.
Can Pujo and I tell if there are any bodies near where the root cellar would roughly be?
So guessing from the make a you're not proficient with it, so disadvantage survival check to see if you get the direction of the root cellar. But both of you can make it.
Now, I have that wanderer ability with maps and terrain. Would that help me?
Does it work for underground?
I don't know. No, probably not. I'm an outlander nature
Yeah.
guy. So.
This is just to figure out where underground that passage leads directively.
Okay.
I had a 12.
Okay, that's not bad.
I had an 11.
11, okay. So both of you think that it puts it beyond the town square, which is where most of these undead have fallen. These corpses have fallen. So it's a much safer area, you feel for sure. That doesn't rule out the possibility of any dead falling there, but it takes it out of the realm of all these dead.
Well,
So I would
think
propose
that-
we go out that way.
Yeah, let's
Bobby,
send a
you go.
scout out the. Let's send a scout out the root cellar.
Okay, who's your scout?
I vote Abran.
I'll go.
I'll go.
We don't
I
all
think
just
we
wanna
should
go
have
out
two
that
people.
way?
Yeah.
I think we
me
should
and
stick
Gooseneck
together.
will go.
Yeah, like either we stay here forever or we
Well,
go
why don't-
I
look
think-
for the witch, right?
Here's the thing, guys. I can do that thing one more time today till we rest again.
Why don't
So-
Amran and I go scout this out real quick?
Okay,
Come
Yeah.
back. You guys stay
Okay.
in the
All
stay
right.
in the temple.
Abran and Gooseneck.
Does that make sense?
Yep. Buddy
Okay.
picture
We
for the
wanna take-
ages.
Do we want to take Corncob with us because of his clericness?
I think we need him to escape
Stay up
the
there?
temple. If yeah,
Okay.
well,
All right. Let's go. Just me
Just
and you.
move fast.
yeah,
All right.
I can move 30 feet. Can't you too, Abran? Or you're
30,
like 30 or 35?
35.
Yeah.
35.
Is there someone you want me to send your bones to, Gooseneck?
Yeah,
So
send
they
him
can
back
make
to
a
my,
weapon.
send him back to my sister.
All right.
She'll make a nice blowgun out of me.
So yeah, you go through there. Are you going to do this stealthily? You want to give me some stealth rolls?
Yeah,
Yes,
You
so
don't
I
have
have
to.
stealth as a skill.
Okay.
I do too. It's one of
Right,
my
so it's
proficiencies.
plus
Abran,
3.
18 for me. 18? Got a
Here's
plus
an
6,
8.
so a total 18.
and 8 for Gooseneck. Okay. So
Oh,
Gooseneck's
Not so stealthy.
a little bit. You pop up, and as you pop up, you're at the base of a hill, and on top of this hill,
Ooh,
you
look at that
see.
tree.
Yeah,
That
you
looks like
do
the
see
tree
a
of despair.
Wow,
I'm
that
despairing.
is a
I'm
killer
woe.
tree. Oh man,
Ah.
that tree, obviously sculpted by the same genius who did the temple.
Honestly, not playing favorites. It just fell into what I needed for the game.
I
Although-
love you, Frank.
It might seem like it after the next thing too, so I guess we'll see.
Oh my lord!
Uh-huh.
What a cheese eater! That's all I have to say.
You're gonna have to make this screen bigger for Bobby's head.
Oh my god! Yes. Yes, there goes that forehead. It's just all forehead now. It's all 8 head.
Yeah, so it pops up, and I'll let you roll this time. Make a perception check as you pop up and look around. Now, you don't necessarily have to both be out there standing on the surface, but it's just to illustrate you're both looking.
15 for me.
10 plus 3.
13?
Wait, wisdom plus 1. So 11.
11, okay. 11 for Gooseneck, 15 for Aberrant. I guess I better roll. Okay. Yeah, you look around, Aberrant. It looks like you see some prints in the ground that look quite large-footed and clawed. You're not necessarily familiar with them. Make a survival check.
A 4.
4. You don't know what these prints are.
That's with a bonus.
But the only thing you could suspect is that it is related to whatever was tromping around that you heard last night, but you don't know what they are.
Hey, this looks like the thing that might be tromping around, kind of thing.
Well,
Gooseneck.
now I have hunter's lore. Wait a minute. I thought I had as a lizard folk. I thought I had like. Hang on.
Features and traits, maybe, look under there.
Yeah, it could
You
be.
did have something last time or the time before.
I have animal handling, but I
No.
thought I had some sort of
No
hunter's
prey
lore.
or something.
Let's see. I can look Gooseneck on your character here as well. Maybe I'll see something.
Features and traits. Hunter's lore. You gain. Oh, that's my stealth and perception. Never mind.
Okay.
That's my hunter's lore. And
Yeah. Well, what you do notice is there's no lights around here. That's for sure.
So should we go back and get the others and Aberrant? Since we don't see any lights, should we go back and get the others and head out?
Let's get him. Yeah, let's get him and go this way.
Can we
Okay.
we see the temple from here? Can we see the?
You can. It is 100 feet away, maybe even a little more than 100 feet away. Clearly.
But there's no lights in this area, and the way is clear.
Seems to be.
All right. So let's go back and get everybody else and shuffle them out the tunnel.
Okay. You go back. You grab everybody. You pull them all out. We get them all out here. Anne's going to help with that. Yep.
Now, I'm proficient in nature. Can I check those footprints?
Yeah, you can.
Did you guys think to take a plaster cast of those footprints?
Oh,
We've been tromping all over them. You can't tell what they are anymore.
Feel
Can we mark
19
the root cellar on the map
Yeah, you can.
so we don't forget where it is when we come back?
ooh, you're a genius, Bender.
Good call. So who was doing? So you're marking the root cellar on the map, and then you were looking for.
Pugh rolled a 19 on his nature check.
Oh, yeah. So Pugh, you kind of get into it. You're looking at the tracks, right?
Yes.
We lost our wizard.
You lost.
Our wizard went behind the tree to take care of some business.
Some wizard lizard, yeah.
Tree of woe, that's much better.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
All
Well,
we hear is a little light
so
grunting in the background.
Pugil, you kind of get into it looking at the tracks. You follow them up. You're like super interested. They go up the hill towards the tree a little bit.
Uh-oh.
And as you get there, sort of standing up on the other side of the tree, all of a sudden this lanky greenish figure turns around and looks at you all.
No.
Uh-oh. Aw. Don't.
No.
Sounds like Frankie doesn't like him either.
Yeah, I'm going to ask my dog what these are.
I do not blame him. Hold on. I'm going to take advantage of this. Oh, I wanted to...
Oh.
Ooh, we can make some armor out of this guy.
I need you all to roll initiative. What has
Aren't you
come
glad we
around?
got you?
What has come around the corner is something you would not have wanted to see. You have
Oh,
heard
crap.
tales of trolls, and that is clearly what is around the corner here. Abram, what is your initiative?
19.
Okay, nice. That's good. That's good. That's good. Let's see.
Also, I'm back.
Okay. Abram,
Yay.
19. Corncob, what was your initiative?
My initiative was 10.
Pugil.
16.
Fathom.
3.
Ivan.
11.
Gooseneck.
9.
9. So your interest in this Pugil is distracted enough that it gets up and is able to run down directly at you. It is dropped its club on the ground as it comes at you, although the club is in here, and just comes up to swipe at you with its claws.
Ah!
Weeby, have you morphed into a dog?
Could you focus on the
Oh.
equipment? There we go. Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
this
cool.
is terrible.
He's so cute.
That is a...
Oh,
At least there's
the
no
rest of these
cloaca
miniatures have
showing.
been so well sculpted.
Okay.
We're not even on his bridge, for Pete's sake.
I can't help it. It was what was appropriate. So it comes down with 2 vicious claws and a bite, and the bite just sort of slaps next to your head, Pugil. But the first claw hits,
Ouch.
and so does the second.
Ouch.
7
Ooh.
points of piercing damage on the first claw,
Ah.
and 5 points on the second.
Ouch.
Bye-bye, little squishy gnome.
Yeah. Oh.
Away.
He got it in the pool hole.
I did.
Abram,
I'm hurt bad, kids.
Abram, it is your turn. You see that Pugil, very interested in the tracks, was taken unawares by this troll that has come out from around the tree.
Turning into
Am I
a troll.
Am I able to step back any and also fire an arrow, or just
Oh.
fire an arrow?
I mean, yes, because Pugil's protecting you from being attacked if you step back.
Yeah. No, if I take a step back, I can still hit him with an arrow, but yet keep it open for other people to attack
Absolutely,
him.
yeah.
melee.
You can step
That's
back
what
up
I'd
to
like to
30
do.
feet.
I'll just take a step back 5 feet, and then I'm going to fire an arrow at him. That's 21 with
Yeah.
14 points of damage. 12 points of damage. Sorry, 12 points of damage.
Okay. It notices you as your arrow sinks solidly into it. Pugil, it's your turn.
I am going to run away.
Okay, disengage action, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I
Smart.
don't want to get hit.
All right.
So how does disengage work?
So you disengage works. You use your action, basically to protect yourself, and your movement to move away. So you can move up to 25 feet away while disengaging.
I'm going to run and take cover behind the tree root.
Okay.
There you go. But I still have a line of sight to the troll, right?
Yeah, and you can always pop out from the tree and line of sight and come back in if you need to.
Okay.
Okay, so you're disengaged. And Ivan.
Run away! Run away!
Let's see here.
Where's the tree? Oh, behind the tree.
I'm going to use. I guess I'll.
This is a
I'll
lizard man
take
opponent.
let's see here. Where am I at? I'm in the back. Okay. I guess I'll take. Can I take a step back? No, not yet. Can I take a step back and then cast something?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I want to take one step back and then I'm going to use catapult to take this rather large rock to my right that I just found. That's about 5 pounds. Because
Yeah.
that's the limit of the spell. And just hurl it right at the troll's head as hard as I can. And
Okay.
it's a DC difficulty check of 13, I think.
Ooh, is that my dexterity, I believe?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it says hit/DC, and then it says Dex 13 for me on this.
Yes, so I saved.
Man, that's a good looking troll.
It is a good looking troll, isn't it?
It is a good looking troll.
Yeah, it is.
Who painted
So you
that?
saved it?
I painted that.
That's
You
good.
did a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I meant to paint you.
Great.
So yeah, I made my save, Justin.
Okay, well, so I assume then that means that it
I
just
like
misses. And
Is it a cantrip or a normal spell? It's a spell, right?
first level spell, yeah.
It usually means half damage. Maybe not in this case, but let's make sure.
It says on a failed save, the object strikes the target and stops moving. When the object strikes something, that's when it does the damage. So I don't know.
Okay. And if I
Maybe.
don't have a failed save, it just misses. Okay, then it just whooshes overhead, slams into the hill, and bounces up over, and Pugh watches it bounce away. That means it's Corncob's turn.
Corncob is going to toll the dead.
Okay.
So I'm going to point at him, and he'll make a wisdom saving throw or takes a d12 because he's already damaged, right?
He is already damaged. His wisdom save is a 0. He rolled a 0.
That's too bad. Oops. Let's just do a 12 instead of a 20. Take 5.
5. Okay. All right. Nice. Any movement or anything, Corncob?
I would like to go to my left a little bit and get a slightly clearer range. But I don't think I'm going to close too closely.
More like that?
I don't really need to at this point.
All right. Gooseneck.
Enzo.
Am I within striking distance? Can I whack him from there? Do I need to move in first?
You got to move in first to whack him, but you
Okay,
can do it.
I'm gonna move in and whack him.
All right.
Yeah. 11.
No, it
Guessing that
bounces
didn't hit.
off of his tough hide.
I would like to do a bonus action, Hungry Jaws,
Haha.
and
Ooh.
do a bite attack.
Yep. You all watch Gooseneck's jaw unhinge and get abnormally, unnaturally massive.
Oh, no.
Not that massive. 7.
7.
Always take a little bite first.
And it quickly gets a fist inside it, stopping from biting. All right, Fathom.
Do I need to disengage or can I just step back?
You're 10 feet away, so you could. Let me look at reach. You can step back.
I'd like to step back about 20 feet. And then hit him with some chill touch.
Okay.
I hope. Ooh, natural 20, so 25 total.
Ooh, double your damage dice.
Okay, so the first one was 4. Second one is 6. So 10 total.
Okay. There's there's some extra wording on chill touch. Something about
he can't heal or something. Hold on. It can't regain hit points until the start of my next turn.
Okay.
And so the hand's like clinging to it essentially.
Right.
And if it's undead, that does something too, but I'm pretty sure that's not his deal.
Right. So the start of at the end. So your turn's over. At the start of this this troll's turn, you can see that its flesh begins to sort of knit together, but this hand, you can see the necrotic energy flowing down, and as the flesh begins to knit, it just breaks apart and rips open again, preventing it from healing. And it seems to be ever angry about it. The person that's in its face right now is Gooseneck, though. So Gooseneck, it swings 2 claws at you first. That is a 11 to hit on the first claw.
I have an armor class 16.
Okay. A 12 on the second claw, and then in frustration, you see it reach down with its fanged mouth and take a bite at your shoulder. That is a 26 to hit.
Wow. Oh, ouch.
It sinks.
You just got Pugh.
It sinks its fangs into you. That's 6 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Whatever a troll might be harboring with it, too.
Great.
Abram.
Well, as long as it doesn't unhinge its jaw, you'll be okay.
So I'm back. I'm gonna hit him with another arrow. Can I do my ensnaring strike with an arrow, or does it have to be? It didn't say anything about having to be melee or not. It says
So
next time you hit a creature with a weapon attack.
Yep, so ensnaring strike is a bonus action. You can cast it first and then follow up with any weapon attack, including an arrow.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna go after him with another arrow. And so I got a. Let me go back to my actions. Plus 8, a 19 to hit with
definitely
8 points of damage, and then you have to. It says you probably know all this, anyways. To do a strength save.
Yeah, I think that
It
is that
says
on my turn.
appears at the point of impact, and the target must succeed on a strength saving throw, or be restrained by magical vines until the spell ends. A larger creature has advantage, and then you have like a d6 or something damage.
Okay. Even my advantage, well, actually my advantage was pretty good, so I saved on that.
Okay.
Thank you. And you brought up the dice. I didn't let them sit there for a while, though. Those are Reaper Miniatures Pizza Dungeon dice, by the way. Let me put them. It's a shiny. And it's gonna bring it up again. This is my shiny dice, but I'm afraid that it's saved.
That was worth a shot.
Yep, absolutely. And you did your normal damage to it.
I did 8 points too. Okay.
Pugil.
I'm gonna cough up some blood and shoot him in the back with my little crossbow.
Okay. Ducking
Oh,
out from the tree.
I rolled a 5 total.
Ooh. No, that crossbow narrowly misses Gooseneck and flies right off between Gooseneck and Abram.
Hey, watch it, you little shit!
Oh,
Okay, I shoot at Abram with my bonus.
That almost hit me.
Hit
me,
you little. I do have a
tree
bonus
hider?
action. I do have a bonus action. I'm going to use it
Little ink
to
spider.
give bardic inspiration to Gooseneck.
Okay. Gooseneck, you have some bardic inspiration.
What was that again? I don't remember the.
For 10 minutes,
What
you
is-
get a D6 as a bonus dice. So anytime you roll a D20 for an attack or an ability check or a savings throw, you can add a D6 to the result.
Each round,
No. You
Or
can
No,
do it
just one
once.
time.
I can do it one
When
time.
you
Okay.
whenever you pick,
And
All right.
you can't know the results. So you can roll after you roll your dice, but before you know what result your dice had.
yeah.
What?
If
So
you were
you roll
rolling to hit, you could roll 13, but before Frank says whether or not that hit, you could decide to roll the 6 and add it to it.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Right. So, all right. And Ivan.
Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead since
Fireball.
my archaic knowledge of trolls is
Roast
that
the lizard.
I'm
Fireball.
pretty
All that
sure.
Hey, there's
Pretty
no
sure I'm
doors
supposed to hit
around,
this
so
thing
I
with
think you've got
fire.
a good shot at it.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going.
Wait, before
to...
you roll, just pretend it's a door.
And it's a door, okay. I'm visualizing a door. And we got a 9 plus 5, so 14.
14. It veers off and hits the tree, scarring a bit of fire mark.
Oh, no.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Proto door.
Oh, boy. No wood is safe around me.
No.
Who invited this wizard?
Certainly not any wood material.
Hedge wizard.
Corn cob.
You're not wrong.
It worked well the first time. I'm going to go ahead and do another Toll the Dead
Okay.
cantrip. So you need to save.
Oh, that's a save.
Okay. Then I don't think anything happens.
No, it doesn't. The bells that appear just are squashed in the swamp air. And it would be Gooseneck's turn.
All right.
Fireball.
I'm
He's
going to
mimicking my
whack
pose
this
now.
sucker. Okay, you know what? I got a. I got a 16.
That hits.
Does that hit? Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
it
we'll
does.
take it. So 1d8 plus 2, 3. I am also.
God for that +2.
I am also going to go into a rage as my bonus action. Should I do that? Should I have done that before?
We can say you did it before if you want.
Okay, I want to go into a rage, which adds a +2 to melee damage.
Yep.
So that would be 5.
All
And that's my first round. I get 10 rounds of that.
Okay. Are you going to stay engaged with it, sort of keeping it at bay from everyone else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fathom.
Well, that chill touch seemed to work pretty well, so I'm going to go with that again.
All right.
14. And I don't know if that hits.
It does not hit.
That is disappointing.
You were not the one with the bardic inspiration either. Okay. No, the chill touch is sort of, the claw just grasps at the empty air beside it. Okay. It's still angry enough to be coming at Gooseneck. All right, Gooseneck. The first claw.
Now-
Yes.
I was just going to say, I also in the rage it says resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage.
Yep. You take half damage from anything it does.
Okay.
So The first is a 10 to hit, the first claw, which misses, I think. The second is an 18 to hit. And so that 18 is 5. Wait, that's supposed to be a claw. Sorry. It is 8 points of slashing damage. You only take 4 of that because you're raging.
Okay.
And the third is the bite that comes down at you. That misses, just snaps in the air. This thing is heartily disturbed. Aberrin.
I'm gonna hit pop him with another arrow.
All right.
Ooh, not a good roll. I got a 16 with
That hits.
Does that hit?
Yep.
Oh wow. 9 points of damage.
Okay. Oh wait, I also 9 points damage. Okay. At the beginning of that round, for him, by the way, just a note, you did see some of the wounds knit back together, and they weren't prevented by any magic this time around. Not entirely, but all right. So you did your damage to it, Aberrin.
Wow,
Pugh.
look at that free hand on that cloak. It's amazing.
It is lovely. Pugh.
Popped him with an arrow, flashed out my free hand on my cloak.
I am gonna duck
Nice
out
flip.
from behind my tree root and shoot him in the butt.
All right.
20,
This
17
terribly.
plus 3 is 20,
Ooh,
and I get
undoubtedly.
4 points of damage.
4 points. Okay. All right. Corn.
job.
No, I'm
Cool.
sorry. It's Ivan's turn.
Okay, well,
Come on, Ivan.
let's give this fireball another
please.
shot. And by fireball, I mean
Don't
firebolt.
hit me.
Firebolt. All right.
Oh, where's whatever his name is?
Gooseneck.
Gooseneck. Corncob neck.
I'm pretty close. Just don't roll a 1.
Yeah.
Just don't roll a 1. Okay. All right, 17 plus 5, so
you
22.
Nice.
That firebolt struck true.
Good job.
All right,
Burn
let me
him.
roll my damage here. Which I realize I don't have the dice for this. I think.
What?
Sure you do.
I think. Maybe. Hold on.
You
Oh,
got
I
it.
do. Right here. We're good.
If you have a
All right, it does
Reaper pizza
12
dice, you
damage.
should have.
12.
Not 12
Awesome.
damage.
Good
10
10.
damage, sorry.
10 damage, okay. Yeah, the flame just licks up around it. He glares back, and it's right in front of you, Gooseneck. Just lights up in flame, and he pulls away. You can feel the heat of it almost. Corncob.
Corncob's gonna try another spell. So go ahead and save versus your wisdom.
Alrighty, Toll the Dad. My save was a 11.
You need a 13.
Then you were successful.
11.
Wow.
11 points of necrotic damage.
Whoa.
All right.
Oh, and it's necrotic too?
It's necrotic.
Ooh.
As long as he's already hurt, it's necrotic. Well, no, I guess it's necrotic no matter what.
It's always necrotic. You get a bigger die if he's already hurt, right?
Yeah. I'll only get an 8 if he's not.
Nice. Gooseneck, it's your turn. You're right in front of him. He's got some nasty looking necrotic energy over him.
All
I'm
right.
sure glad we bought some
I'm gonna
flammable
whack him
oil.
again.
All right.
Cocked. Sorry.
That's okay.
14 plus 4, 18.
Yes.
Awesome.
I'll hit. 3 plus 2 for 5.
Okay. That is there. He's taking a lot of hits, and he looks semi-distressed about the fire that's been attacked to him. Fathom, it's your turn.
Well, that necrotic damage seems to be just the ticket, so I'm going to have another try at chill touch.
Okay.
This time I got 21
Yes.
and
Right.
5 points of damage.
Yes. All right. You feel that that hand, you can see it just sort of cling to the back of the nape of his neck again. On his turn, you can see his body tries to heal, but there's fire that's still sort of aflame. The hand is still corrupting all of his abilities to heal. And he becomes furious.
Uh-oh.
Gooseneck reaches
Bye,
down.
guys.
He reaches down with a claw, and that is a 24 to hit you with
Yep.
First-
Ah,
his first claw
Nice.
attack. And that is 14 points of slashing damage.
Oh,
But I take half, right?
You take half.
7.
Take 7.
Okay.
Um,
All right. I'm
and then-
down to 6.
Okay, his second claw whips down on you, looking like he's got the advantage on top. That is 19 points. 19 to hit, sorry.
Okay.
And this claw, 13 points of slashing damage, which means you take 6.
Sergeant Major sound taps.
Was 6 what you had
I'm
left?
I'm at 0.
Okay, so you
6
drop
is-
down to the ground, and he moves
Do I have
to... Go ahead.
I would say, do I have to make like a death save or something?
Not yet. And he
Not yet.
moves immediately right up to Abram
Oh, here we go.
with a bite
Help from
right
the
down.
bird.
His mouth opens up and he starts to bite down on Abram's head. That
Help.
is a 14 to hit. Abram, does that hit you?
He misses.
Okay,
15,
snapping at
yeah.
the air.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He's pulling sort of a final win. Abram, it is your turn. However, he's right in
Can
your
I-
face this time.
So I can't use my bow right now, right?
You can use it, but it would be at disadvantage.
So I just use my sword then, my long sword.
Okay, drop the bow, pull the sword.
Roll a sword. 16 to hit
Yes.
with 10 points of damage.
Oh, in this troll's sort of final flurry
lucky
of
roll.
blows that come at you, you just lob it. Everything inside spills to the outside as it tumbles to the ground at your feet.
yeah.
Take that. And I stab it in the back of the head just to make sure. Drive my sword
Welcome
in
to
the back
Claw
of its head.
Town.
Welcome to Claw Town.
Because
Bitches.
because we have a down person, I'm still going to move in rounds because of how this can go. So you've attacked at Abram, and it's spilled out your feet. Pugil, though, it's your turn, and you did see
I
Gooseneck
don't-
go down.
I will scamper down there and render aid to Gooseneck.
Thanks, Pugil.
You can
That's a
make
very nice tree you've got there.
medicine
Yeah.
check.
Medicine check?
Yeah,
Oh, well, crap.
unless you have like healing or something like that, magical
No,
healing.
no, I don't. A 10.
A 10. That is enough. You have stabilized the bleeding on Pugil from this attack.
Your alien lizard physiology notwithstanding.
Now you're able to figure it out enough that as the bleeding starts to come out, and then you've just sort of packed it in and it stops. The troll, you are all smart enough at this point to know that you're going to have to hit it with fire or chill touch, and I have confidence you can do that.
Corn
Somebody
cob.
has some oil.
The oil
I've
corn
got
cob.
Corncob's got some oil as soon as it's my.
All right, well,
Initiative.
we can be out of rounds. Corncob, you can spread that oil on them and light it up.
Okay, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
One of them, right? You bought 3, right?
I'm just using one, and then I'll pour my regular oil also, one of my regular oil supply also.
Okay.
I mean, if you need
we
me to
have
just
the
stand there
ignition.
and she'll touch him, save you the oil.
Yeah, I can also hit him with a. We could just. She'll take one end. I'll take the other.
That would be fine. I'm going to start him on fire. You can keep touching him or whatever you want.
Okay.
Not touching. It's not literal
Yeah.
touching.
She's not
Chilling
following.
him. You can keep killing him.
Not
Totally.
caressing
I
the
ain't
troll.
touching him. You touch him.
I think
It's
Rhonda's
from
Massage
afar.
that cloaca.
Hey, I sculpted this troll. He doesn't have one of those.
No, that's right. He's got a
Oh,
loincloth.
sorry. Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
first.
Yeah. So you are successfully away from the lights. You've gotten rid of this troll, and it is early morning still, and you've sort of cleared the path to get you farther. However, you ran into a small complication of Gooseneck being unconscious and injured greatly.
And
Well, I
You're gonna
have a
have to
cure
carry
light
me.
wounds.
Pugh had the crap beat out of him too.
Yes.
I have
I
two
think
cure
maybe
light
we need
wounds.
to go back to the temple and rest up.
Yeah, Pugil will like to move that the group retreat to the temple and spend another night there.
Before we do that, why don't I blow these two cure light wounds? Or because you don't get all your points back when you rest, right?
Long rest you do.
Long rest you do.
Here's
No, not your hit.
if you're talking about hit points, just a little mechanics for a moment. It will, because he's unconscious, it'll take him an hour to come around to consciousness at 1 hit point, and then you can spend an hour in a short rest where you can roll your hit dice twice because you have 2 levels, and that hit dice, whatever you roll, will heal you up that amount.
Would it help if I cast cure wounds on him now? Would it help speed that
Yeah, I
process?
have cure
Yes, it
wounds
would.
now.
It means you could just take a short rest after that.
Okay, you want to hit
Right.
one
But
and I'll
shouldn't we
hit one?
rest in the temple and let them get themselves back?
Yes, to the temple.
I don't want to drag this guy. Let's get him. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't
Well,
get him
no,
walking.
heal him first, then we go to the temple.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to try to
Okay.
heal up Gooseneck with a cure wound spell.
Cure wounds.
Thanks, guys.
How many hit points
Ooh.
did you give Gooseneck?
I gave him 8 points, believe it or not. There's my
Wow.
roll, right? Yeah.
That.
Was an 8.
Thanks,
Good job.
Abram.
You're welcome.
And
You
usual,
were-
you're still walking, right?
So I'm up
Yeah, you're up.
8 points. Okay.
We're going to rest.
Let's head
I'm going
back
to
to-
just go ahead and I'm going to heal Pugil while we're standing here. And that's a 5 plus 3, right? Yes.
If you're a
8.
light cleric, then yeah. Okay.
Take 8 Pugil. Well, that way he's
All
a little
right.
tougher for the trip home.
Okay.
That
So
helps.
100 yards or whatever.
you make it back to the
Yeah.
temple. That is not difficult to do. You know the way already. And now you can decide whether or not you want to take a short rest here and then continue on, or whether or not you want to spend like a full 24 hours here and then continue on.
I think we've got plenty of rations. I say let's rest, do a long rest, get as fit as we can, because I don't want to go into a confrontation with the witch having been too seriously eroded. And there's no timer right now. We're not under any kind of deadline.
Right.
I agree
I
with
agree.
Pluto. I don't want to meet the witch with the healers not having spells.
Sound
Yeah.
logic.
Okay.
So
and
back
here
to
we
the
are,
temple.
back at the ranch. We should just build this into something for us, you know.
Can we get souvenirs off the troll?
Yeah. Whatever you want.
I think the lizard
All right.
man needs at least a thigh bone.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
We need to get troll souvenirs. Get us some claws and get some ears and
I
not
didn't have
enough
much
to
soft parts
generate
left.
into an actual troll, but something that'll be fun to show mom.
It'd be fun. Make a club out of his bone and it turns into a troll.
No actual parts, just souvenirs.
Yeah, we don't want enough that's going to make trolls.
Right.
Or pieces of trolls.
You don't know how mildly disappointed I am you didn't take a piece of troll, but that's okay. That's okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
You actually, as you dig around on the troll, you find that he's obviously been some of the things that he has on his person look like they're just junk almost. Like you see something that resembles a yo-yo. You see some things that look like maybe just people on the outskirts of town that were attacked. But You also find a pouch in there that has 2 shiny gems in it.
Woohoo!
And these are agates that are each worth 50 gold. So you have 2.
I'll hold on to
So
those.
who's writing that down? Because you guys didn't want me to write down that. Well, you
No,
should give
no,
one
we-
to
Didn't you let us
Gooseneck, I
split the
think. There,
gold? Just
Pujo.
split the gold last time, Frank.
Uh,
That was actual gold.
We did split it last time.
yeah, we split up the gold,
I
but
don't
I have there right now. I have possession of an onyx gem worth 100, and I'll just put these agates with that onyx, and when we cash them in, we can divvy up the cash. Right now, I have 200 gold worth of party gems. Unless somebody
Sounds good.
protests.
Abran doesn't look too happy
Abran
about
appears to
that.
have a question.
Yes, Abram?
Everybody raise your hand who cut the troll's head off.
Okay.
No.
Sorry, Pujol. I gotta. Oh wait,
Pujol-
yeah, I
Pujol-
gotta side with Abran because he also saved my life.
Yeah. No, Pujol
Give
can
one
stick
to
yeah.
So we're
Okay,
getting,
that's
we're getting
fine.
paid
We're
based on our
all-
contribution here.
Yeah, I think that's genius. We'll put all the
No,
money with the people who are going to be consumed by the dragon.
Yeah, let's put all the money with the little gnome that hides behind the trees.
That's
Exactly.
a smart place to put it.
If Pujol wants to put the gems in his Pujol, that's fine. Instead of the store. It's probably the safest bet.
It is the
buyer
safest
beware
bet.
when we get to town.
Yeah.
I'm not concealing
I
anything.
think party
that
gems, we
at
just hold it
200
to it. It's got to be party gems. Once we get to town,
yeah,
it's party
it's
all
all
the
good.
way.
He's
Yeah.
good.
So
He's
Frank,
good
I've got
holding it. Perfect.
200 gold pieces worth of gems.
Yeah, that sounds
That's awesome.
right.
And so we're taking a long rest. So what was the mechanic for hit points? You get to roll your hit
Well,
dice.
if it's a long rest, you're going to get everything back. All your spell
Everything
slots, all
back.
your
Okay.
hit points.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
There's a long rest thing at the top of your sheet. If you click it, it should restore everything.
Yeah, you'll have to click
Automatically, I
twice. I
believe.
think you'll click it, and then it'll do a little countdown. I think it's 5 seconds. You'll have to click it again to confirm you want to take a long rest. But you should
That's
get it
really
done.
cool.
And I will. There was a couple things. One is that is the end this evening. We went. It was slightly
about right.
longer, but it was about right. You know, like I said, we're going to try to keep it no more than 3 hours, somewhere between 2 and 3. And you made it halfway to the witch. You learned about the town a little bit, at least. And you survived a troll. That's a big deal. Congratulations.
That was a big deal.
You each get
I'm proud of it.
340 experience points.
Wow.
Woo.
And
I think that puts me all the way at 8th level now, I think.
Yeah, right around 8th level. Yes.
another
definitely.
thing like that, and you'll be at 3rd level, but not yet. You're still 2nd.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I can't.
So
Yeah, I'm at 660.
Yeah, me too.
sounds about right.
We should all be the same.
And you found a little bit more about Wofield when you were up there at that tree. You, especially as you sort of ducked behind it, Pugil, you did see the remains of a long since forgotten skeleton at the bottom that had I don't know. It looks like it had been trussed up to it at some point, but no longer. It's been a long time since it's been there.
Now, once we get back into the temple, are the blue lights back again?
Yeah, yes. During your long rest, you do know that. As soon as you get in there, it doesn't mean they pop up, but it's like they're roaming about out there, searching. They're not on some sort of regular schedule. It's just they appear from time to time whenever they feel like it.
Does it seem like they know we're here?
They definitely know you're there. They know you're there and that they can't
good.
reach you. But you don't think that they felt like you were gone, so they might not have even realized that you ducked out for a moment.
We had to
Which-
run an errand.
Yeah,
Troll.
yeah. Just a little stop. So thank you. I think that's the end of our game tonight. Thank you for.
That was a lot of fun.
Thank you. That was fun.
Thanks a lot. That was a blast.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, it was.
that
It
was great.
Good job, Frank.
No, thank you all.
Yeah,
Thank
good
you.
job. Great job for
Thank you,
everybody
everyone who
living.
came to watch us.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have an audience out there, so I'm glad you've watched this continue. We always try to end it with a completion of some sort. So whatever happens next week, and whoever is here, we will be starting from this temple and trudging out farther into the swamp. I don't want. I'm sorry, I don't want to put plans in your mouth, right? I still think you're up to attack the witch and not flee back to town just yet.
Yep. Proctor's definitely committed to witch burning.
Proctor's ready.
Jason has all that oil.
Is ready.
Witch
I only
oil.
have 2 left.
That's okay.
That's enough for witch burning.
Yeah, that's good. So this is a bi-weekly game. You should be able to catch us again in 2 weeks. I'm going to say a little bit, but I'll let Justin come up the last because he's going to be in charge of any things that needs to be said on behalf of Reaper and on any raids we might have. Myself, I am Frank from Nightheart Gaming. Thank you for watching. We have a game tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock on our channel, Nightheart Gaming, on Twitch. I'm glad you joined us here. I'm always super excited to do this. As you can see, I try to put in miniatures and sculpts that I know that our players have been associated with, if I can help it, because it makes it interesting a little bit for me as well. And so, yeah, that's it from me. I am enjoying this game so far, and I'll let everybody say anything that they might want to say or plug about themselves as we close out the evening here. I guess we'll start at the top again, Bobby.
I'm glad Pugh survived another episode. That was a lot of fun, and looking forward to 2 weeks from now. And Justin, bully Ron into mailing those books out.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to. He was completely okay with it. He thought it was a good idea. So
Okay.
it should be on their way. Avenge soon, TM. Let's put it that way.
Oh, is that Reaper soon?
Oh God!
Soon TM.
You might get your ship first.
Yeah, we will be 8th level.
Oh, I can't wait till we get the ship. If we're still playing, we're gonna use it.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I had a great time. Thank you, Frank, very much, and I look forward to playing again. Thanks to Abran for saving my butt because that was a close call tonight.
Troll snack.
Yeah, I almost was a troll snack. So anyway, thank you. I had a great time.
Jason.
As always, it was a blast. I love playing this game with these people. Do check out Frank's stuff. Thanks, Justin, for setting it up, and Frank as well. And everybody just keep staying safe. Keep doing what you're doing.
Michael.
And tonight was yet another example how the fighters step up into the fray and take all the damage and fight the monster while Pooh hides behind the tree.
Coughing up
Hey,
his
for
life.
an elf, that's quite a list of grudges you got.
But had a ton of fun tonight. Thank you, Frank, for all that. And if anybody wants to watch Twitch next Tuesday at 4 p.m. Central, Justin and I will be on with the Crow's Nest.
Who's your guest?
I do not have one lined up yet this next Tuesday.
Okay.
No, but
no.
we might have a grand unveiling of something, right, Proctor?
Ooh.
Maybe.
Sure.
Did you get the ship painted?
Well, hold on. This is directed at both Proctor and Gene. Is it? Didn't you tell me that it wasn't?
Oh,
yeah, we're working.
is that thing going?
Yeah.
I mean, as
I'm
soon
not
as
sure.
it's ready, we're doing it.
I previewed it, Justin, Gene.
It looks really cool, by the way, Gene. Good
Cool.
job.
If it's what I think it is, no, well, we'll just
Well,
have to
we'll
wait and
figure it
see,
out.
I guess.
We'll have to wait and see. Yeah. Well, I want to leave it as a
Suspenseful.
tease.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a tease that may or may not happen.
Nice. Rhonda, how about yourself?
Thank you all for a great time. I love watching. It's really neat to see how you've set up the scenery, and then we know where our characters and stuff. It's
Yeah,
a good time.
that's
Um,
super fun.
I
Yeah.
don't have a
Yeah,
stream
The
to
scenery is great.
plug, but if you read, which so Proctor's out. If you, I do have a blog where I talk about painting at birdwiththebrush.com.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll put a
You
link
can see
in
some
chat.
nice stuff Gene sculpted up there that I've been working on lately.
Yeah.
Okay.
Naked men
Naked.
parts.
Naked.
They're not all
Have you
naked.
gotten to the
They're
naked
just
men?
mostly naked.
Are you
I don't
catching
have
the
copies
naked
of the
man?
Naked Men. So while we're
Oh.
yelling at Ron to send things, Justin, if you could yell at him to send me some Naked Men, that'd be great.
Because he's not
I
watching
will
this.
try.
No, he's yeah.
I texted him
Just
earlier, he
walk
did not
in his room and say, Rhonda said send Naked Men. And then see
I
what
will
happens.
do that. I will do that Monday morning. Is that Enzo?
It'll be
No.
interesting what you get from that. No, I think that was Frank.
We put a link in the chat to that.
That's Proctor.
Yes, actually, Ann beat me to it. Yeah. Would you like to plug birdwithabrush.com?
Yeah.
I thought I did plug it.
Yeah, she
Oh,
did.
did you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear that. Sorry.
It's a whole reading thing. Yeah. I bored you too, I know.
I am very boring. Just be warned before you go look at it. It's very boring.
No, it's excellent reading
Yeah,
with great
boring.
tips and
You're the one that
advice.
just asked
Yeah.
for Ron to send you 10 naked men. That's boring.
Well, I got to spice it up.
And he gets these books.
Yeah. Whenever.
Justin?
All right, guys. Well, I have a raid set up for us here that we're collecting people to send off. It's going to be Indigo Chameleon at the suggestion of Anne. So thank you, Anne, once again for doing the technical production as well as the the moving of minis, helping Frank, just doing all that stuff tonight. Thank you very much, so that I could enjoy the game. That being said, thank you again, Nightheart, for putting this on because it's awesome and I think everyone enjoys it, particularly the people watching.
Yes.
So
Very much so.
Outside of that, just catch us Monday through Friday. Our schedule is below the channel you're watching currently. If you want to see more D&D from Nightheart, they have other games as well that they run. They have the Dungeons and Dramaturgy, right? Yep. And they have Maximum Medians, which is my personal favorite. And then there's all kinds of fun stuff to check out, guys. But outside of that, that's about it. Just come check out these channels during the week when you're bored or when you're not. Either way. So that's it for me, guys.
Thank you all then, and have a good night. And let's raid and spread this D&D love around.
Yes, thank you guys very much. Use the Reaper raid emojis, and you guys have a great night and a safe and wonderful weekend. Unlike Proctor's gonna do. See you guys.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Night.